GM, we do a little fam. If you're hearing this, that means there's less than 1 week left for our season 3 podcast mint. We have $5 base editions minting through Zora's platform on the base chain until Monday, October 30th, when the last episode of the season with OSF goes live. Each $5 base edition allows you to burn one for an art piece based off the conversations we've had with our guests. You'll need 12 base editions to collect a full set of art. During the past week, the support has been incredible. All of our premium editions were minted out, and we have to give props to everyone who minted. First off, we'd love to thank Clutch, who's the first minter, and shortly after him, NorCal Guy minted the second one, and within 48 hours, the rest of them minted out. Shout outs to Arsonic, Mrs. Arsonic, Chakai, Snowfro, Guppy, Art Pleb, Satoshi's Mom, Ambrosia, Cole, Old School 711, Wizard 98, and Brian Brinkman. From the bottom of my heart and the whole team's heart, thank you so fucking much. Links to mint the base edition, as well as an article explaining all of our plans for season 3, are in the show notes below. Without further ado, let's dive into this week's episode. In our 10th episode of season 3, we are joined by the hilarious and grotesque Mark Wilson, aka DieWithTheMostLikes. Mark is an artist and writer, among other things, based out of Indiana, known for his absurdly sad, introspective, and remorseful caricatures of modern society. One thing is for sure, Mark is able to find humor in the darkest recesses of humanity. We dive into Mark's background as a digital waste slinger, how smoking weed in 8th grade altered his worldview, fascinations with ground beef, Midwestern culture, glory holes, airport bathrooms, fuckable mattresses, human pelotons, edible arrangements, sparsely attended funerals, and so much more. As always, this podcast is for entertainment purposes only and should not be relied upon for investment decisions. Andy, D's, and guests may own NFTs discussed.
This is Andy.
Yeah, I'm D's.
GM, everybody, we're back with another episode of We Do a Little Pod. This time we're with the absurd, hilarious, the one and only DieWithTheMostLikes. How are you doing, Die?
Doing well, man. Yeah, a little hungover from last night. Got out and fucked the grass in New York, which was great. It was a fun night.
Where'd you find grass?
Yeah, I guess you're right. There really isn't a lot of grass. Well, at that weed store I was talking about.
Okay,
There was
5 different types of grass you
5 different types of grass.
Is that like a Indiana fucking? Like, would it have been just a one single strain grass there, or would it have also been a hybrid?
No, I think it would have been a single strain, probably only K2 as well, like the synthetic weed that just does not get you high.
Delta
and just
8.
gets you very, the Delta 8 that just makes
That's
you absolutely nuts. For sure. No, shit is awesome, dude. It's been fun so far. Yeah, what about you guys?
Yeah, it's been good. We had a good dinner last night.
Dave and Buster's, right?
Yeah. We hit up Dave and Buster's, and then we finished off the night at the Panera Bread in Times Square.
Oh, perfect.
I mean, I went to the Chuck E. Cheese up in Queens. I don't know about you guys, but I had a fucking blast.
Weesh has been trying to get me to go to the casino out in Queens for like a year.
Is it legit? Like,
no, you can't even have table games.
Oh,
it's all just like fucking like slots and shit. And like he has a serious problem.
I could fly my mom in if you want someone to play slots with.
Right.
Like, if you just want 16 hours of slots and minimal conversation, like, I know the people.
Yeah, he's like, oh, you want to come to the casino with me in Queens? I'm like, wait, there's a casino in Queens? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, can I play craps there? And he goes, no, you can't play craps.
We just sit in silence and crop dust each other and play slots pretty much.
We just like the secondhand smoke, and that's like really cool for us.
What's the casino life like out in Indiana? Like,
it's one of the best. I would say it's bar none. They call one of the casinos the Bellagio of the Midwest. So, that's the Horseshoe Casino in Hammond, Indiana. Dane Cook plays there a couple times a year. I think there's a Eddie Money cover band that comes through. So it's freaking pretty legit.
When's the last time you saw a Dame Cook live performance?
I mean, last week, I think, was, he's on tour again. I usually try to tour with him. Like, he's a residency in Hammond.
Out in Indiana.
Right?
I mean, we have these, like, podunk casinos on the Ohio River, but they're, like, actually in West Virginia. They must have they have lax laws there.
Yeah.
So, like, the thing in my hometown was, like, you drive an hour to 2 hours south, hit the West Virginia border, and there was a place called Mountaineer, and it was, like, horse racing, tables, and that was, like, my mom's, like, third home. And like, I
I
anticipate that like in Indiana there is a very similar thing. I have no idea what it's called, but I'm like, when you don't really know what to do and you're really desperate and you want to just melt into the universe and pray that God gets on your side and just lines up 3 cherries at one time.
Yeah.
And you could just like make it all back and pull yourself out. And people don't do it and they just go there and they lose their life. And I'm like, that has to be a thing.
What they say is like every gambler quits right before they hit big.
That's the thing. Yeah.
It's really that everyone's a quitter.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Well, and it's like, it's nice because there's no difference between like the casino attire and anywhere else in Indiana. So like people are rocking, the SpongeBob SquarePants track pants and like just like dirty, like it's just it's anything goes, dude, which I love. Like I've completely given up. Like I wear Crocs all the time. Guy Fieri fire shirt. Like 2.5 Men type wardrobe, pretty much. But yeah, it's pretty nice. It's cool. Solid.
So what would you say is the biggest event that Indiana has? Like, is there like a thing every year where it's like, oh man, the NFL Combine's coming up, can't wait?
Yeah. Well, we did. So we have a sick state fair that comes through. So I'm a huge fair guy, as you know. Like,
is it in Indy?
It's in Indy. Okay. Yeah. So it's.
I bet you that's actually very fun.
It's legit. So it's pretty awesome. They do. They've got all your classic, deep fried steel reserves and buzz balls and shit. And then they actually have the rides that you can ride that you're not afraid that you're gonna die. So like it does take a little bit out of it from our county fairs that we've talked about. Like
those county fairs. Literally, we watch people die at the Columbus Fair. Like, that was an actual thing. Like, the wheel.
It's bad, yeah.
It just fucking goes. And it's like, there's like 3 kids who had a future, and now it's exterminated.
It's wild, yeah. So this one's a little bit more legit, but I'd say that's the biggest event that we got, pretty much. Nice. Yeah, it's solid.
Have you been in Indiana your whole life?
So we lived in Chicago, my wife and I did for like 12 years, actually, or something. Oh, wow. But pandemic was fucking nuts there. I mean, I don't want to get into pandemic stuff, but like, so there was a billboard that had the movie Aloha, remember, starring Bradley Cooper, and it was like it was very inappropriately cast, and I think it got canceled for that. I'm pretty sure.
It was called Aloha, but it was all white people.
It was yes, exactly. It was not good. But,
very typical.
But like even so, where we lived, there was a huge billboard for it. And the movie came out in like 2009, and this is like whatever started pandemic. It's still up, and we're just like, somebody get this thing down. But somebody spray painted the end is near in like red letters, and like I just had to look at it every morning waking up out of my apartment. And I'm just like, dude, I'm like starting to lose my fucking mind.
About going up there and changing it yourself?
I seriously considered it. Like one morning I was just out there drinking my coffee, staring at it. My wife came out and she's just like, "Are you all right?" I'm just like, "Not really. Yeah, I'm not. I need to get out there and like do something." Like it was wild. So yeah, we moved back to Indiana just because it was just nuts. There was like a dude running around our neighborhood with a machete too. Like everyone kind of started to lose their minds. Yeah. So it was time to get out of there. Yeah.
So you were like in the heart of it.
The absolute heart,
like in the fucking thick.
Yeah, like
not the burbs.
No, not at all. Yeah, there would be nights where like I would wake up, and again, like I just feel like madness was everywhere. Like everyone was just plunged into it. But I would wake up and there would just be 2 dudes having like a wrestling match outside of my apartment, just like grunting and just grinding out there for like a half hour. Where I'm like, dude, somebody just knock the other dude out. Like, come on, yeah, like.
I can't interrupt them.
No,
I don't want to get pulled into the wrestling match. I'm known to wrestle, so like I don't.
I should have went out there and shattered some glass and just laid out some Stone Cold Stunners.
You run out with a metal chair.
By God, that's Die With The Most Likes music. That would have been awesome.
Like mid-2000s wrestling, you have a table, you pull out.
Attitude Era.
Like start fucking doing a Hardy bomb on them.
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
I feel... Yeah, that's got to be relieving. So, are you in the burbs in Indiana?
Like, we're
all of Indiana's.
All the Indiana's.
Is it all burbs? I mean,
I guess in the burbs. Yeah, we're like in just a decent area. There's like a brewery around and stuff, so it's pretty chill. But it's funny. They call Indy the Big Napple.
The Big Nap.
I mean, they is no one. It's probably just me. I don't think they really exist. But just instead of the Big Apple, like, because it's called Naptown because it's so sleepy. So like,
Naptown.
Yeah, so they call it I've been calling it the Big Napple.
They have cots out for everybody.
Just like
normally there's that brutal architecture that is anti-napping.
Yeah, for sure.
And then in fucking Indiana, it's just beds. It's like
that would be awesome.
Pull out a bed in the park and just take a fucking.
Hey, you seem sleepy. Take a nap.
Yeah.
Is there like a heroin epidemic out there? Because that's a thing in Ohio, at least my hometown, where it's like everybody got fat, and then they got back problems, and then they got prescribed opioids, and then it's just like this cycle of like, well, I ate McDonald's for 30 years and like didn't work out, and my body hates me, so I take painkillers so that my body doesn't hate me, but now I'm addicted to painkillers, and I'm fat.
I think it's
which is worse.
It's nuts. I mean, it's worse from where I'm from, my original hometown, which is like northern Indiana. It's rough there, man. Like, I've got people I went to high school with and shit where I'm just like, oh, this sucks, dude. I'm super sorry.
It's like
once really bad.
Year, you get like a screenshot of a Facebook message, and you're like, oh man, like poor Tommy.
Yeah, it's
like, he was like stealing phones and like got shot at 2 a.m.
Right,
like
wild
off a phone.
Yeah,
to, like,
he was
buy
wild.
Heroin. You're like, I was in gym with that dude.
Right, I know.
He was like a kid.
That's
how our hometown is. It's depressing.
It is, yeah. I feel.
But there's like a New Texas Roadhouse and a Cane's, and you're like, all right, like there's some condotters out there now. You're like, maybe they're coming.
Maybe they're trying to come back.
Maybe things aren't so bad after all.
Yeah,
it's like we live in this remote world where it's like we've kicked around the tires. Like, what does it look like when we move back home?
Yeah,
it's like depressing.
Yeah.
It's like even if you're working remotely and like you're doing well, it's like the people around you might not be working remotely or doing well.
Yeah, right. And then there's the dreaded, you're out at a restaurant and you just like see the person and then you're identified as the person who moved back, and they're like, yeah, I hope he's doing okay. Like he's back, you know. Like,
so I went to my best friend's wedding in my hometown like 2 weeks ago, and we were at a bar. I haven't seen anybody from my hometown in like 10 years aside from like 4 people.
Yeah.
And you're just looking around, and you're like, holy shit, like, I know, like, a dozen people in here, and, like, I haven't seen them in over 10 years, and, like, they look fucking old. I'm just like, they did not get hit by the sands of time in a very good way.
Yeah, I'm, like, convinced that if you don't leave your hometown, you age faster.
I think you might be right.
Like,
they look like the people my age, they're, like, 38, 40, and I'm like, what happened?
Yeah, what's going on here?
Like, you just hear every night at this bar that I just happened to be at for the first time in 10 years, and, like, that is how it got here. Like, maybe that's the case.
It might be. So did you say what's up? Or like...
To one of them who I definitely was 100% sure I knew who it was, and we were friends before.
Okay, cool.
So that was fun. But the other, like, 11, I was at the corner of the bar just enjoying the sights.
Yeah.
If I see anyone from my high school or even, like, from college, I will avoid eye contact at all costs.
I saw like our principal at the bar. That was the weirdest one. like our old principal at the high school.
Yeah, that is wild.
And he's like his wife, like, you know, not going up.
Yeah. Did you pants him or what'd you do?
Nothing. I was like the kid in high school who was like pretty quiet and like a little awkward.
Yeah.
Like, got made fun of for playing video games because that was like my whole life.
Nice, dude.
So, you know, I won an award in high school in my AP government class. I was the most likely to become a bureaucrat.
Wow. Just get right in the grind, like not really.
And I literally worked for the government for 4 years out of college. So I was like, man, maybe my fucking like AP Gov teacher knew his shit.
Like, who won most likely to be a Twitter Spaces host?
That wasn't even a thing. I mean, there might have been like most likely to be a radio show host. It wasn't me. I was never like talkative. I was super shy and like, oh, no one wants to talk about video games.
I'm good. Yeah.
I'm just gonna go fucking.
Well, so what? So most likely to be a bureaucrat is not even a politician, like a bureaucrat, just like kind of.
I feel like that's an insult. I feel like they're
it was.
Oh yeah, they're coming at you.
Like, he would tell me I'm Ralph Wiggum from fucking Simpsons. Like, he would call me Wiggum. Like that was like
tough. Yeah,
that's my
really
nickname
tough
in that class. But that was just like my high school experience. It's like, oh, like I'm one of the weak kids in the class. Like, I'm probably gonna get bullied by the fucking teacher who just looks at life like through a miserable fucking lens of I need to grind out 30 years of these fucking idiot kids so that maybe I can retire. Or, like, I understand.
Yeah.
You take it out on the fucking kids.
Yeah,
right.
Well, we do even worse. One of our friends from high school, he is a nice guy. He's a fucking weirdo. He's a real fucking weird dude. Shout out. I won't say his name because there's no way
he knows who he is.
But he knows.
Fucking weird.
Yeah, if you're watching this, you know I'm talking about you. He's a good guy though. He's one of our friends, and everyone at school used to joke that he had a hit list.
Oh god!
He was like the kid that everyone was like, oh, he's definitely a serial killer. Like, don't fuck with him.
He's got that black notebook.
I feel like he like kind of leaned into it a tiny bit, but for the most part, like he didn't even realize. Like he would walk like. I went to high school with Lewis, and so he knows what I'm talking about.
I know exactly. Yeah.
So, we like my graduating class was like decently big, like 400 students. Yeah. So like the high school was like 1,600 kids, and it's like the lunchroom was pretty big, and he wouldn't like sit down and eat lunch during lunch. He would just like walk around the cafeteria,
like Andrew Tate style or whatever.
Yeah.
And, you see,
and so like we would be sitting, and every time he'd walk by, we'd be like, "Hey, what's up, man?" Like 6 different times during lunch because he just kept walking in circles, and he'd be in like a fucking leather jacket, like walking around. It was creepy, and eventually I was like, "Dude, like you understand that you like are being creepy, right?" And he's like, "No, I'm just walking around."
So what was he doing? He was just like assessing the situation. Maybe he was like the defense, you know?
Yeah,
like
he was checking all the exits.
Yeah, ready to.
So he claims that he just had so many friends that he had to walk back.
But he didn't seem like he was greeting anybody, really.
No. Yeah, I mean, it was totally bullshit. Yeah. But what he said was that was why. Eventually, we got him to just sit the fuck down and eat lunch with us instead.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he was a character.
That is hilarious, man.
Did you ever go to any of your high school reunions?
No, fuck no.
You couldn't.
You're not in any of those Facebook groups where like they try to drag you in.
No, like I'm not. It's funny. Well, it's funny because like I still have like a personal Instagram and stuff, and like some of the high school people follow me on there, and like I'll just post some of the crazy shit that happens here, you know, like my art in some places and stuff, and like they'll pop in and be like, "What the fuck is going on here? Like, what is happening?" I just like I'm just like it's pretty funny.
It's real.
So when you were like in high school and going to like college and all that, what were you planning to do with your life, or were you always planning to draw pictures of meat on the internet?
Well, I always say that my long-term plan was, of course, finding a job that I hate, working there for 40 years, and then eventually dying doing that, and then having a sparsely attended funeral with like a shitty fruit platter, and like, you know, people just kind of picking at it. That was like the goal.
That was plan A.
Yeah, plan A, yeah.
But plan A fell through.
Plan A fell through, thank God. So no, it was funny, man. I have 2 completely worthless majors. So I like majored in German and political science, and like just I was thinking
Sie Deutsch?
Yeah, so like kind of
That's the only German
okay, cool.
I am German,
I don't.
And so my grandma speaks German, and that was all she taught me.
Yeah, well, I lived in Austria for a while, so I was like, I was getting pretty good at it for a bit, but yeah, it was crazy. I like graduated, and I was always obsessed with like reading, and like I have been making shit forever, like art wise, but of course, I mean, it wasn't doing anything, and nobody saw it, and it was just kind of my own thing, which was cool too. And I think that's like kind of what I try to capture in a lot of my pieces is like I would just be making this stuff anyways. Like I just love making stuff. So yeah, I have to get it out, or I would just die probably. So yeah, just eventually, I mean, just found it here, but it was like it really did seem like that trajectory of just sitting in this fucking, and I still work at a shitty 9-to-5 job right now. I have no idea why. Like I'm actually supposed to be working right now. Like I didn't take the day off, so I'm just like whatever, fuck it. Yeah, right.
You're doing fucking...
What do you do in your shitty 9-to-5?
The funniest part is I create digital waste pretty much. Like I send pretty much like spam emails that nobody wants. Badass. So I spend all day building those things and just blasting them to inboxes. And then like everyone's concerned about like why people aren't opening them. And I'm like, dude, it's because we're spamming people. Like we're what everyone hates. Like our unsubscribe doesn't work. Like, you know, you're just getting the
I feel like you need to start taking advantage of ChatGPT, and that could basically do your entire job for you.
Dude, I think it honestly could. And it's just... Yeah.
I'm so convinced that like the most plus EV way, if you just like wanted to make as much money as you could as fast as possible right now, would be, and sorry to cut you off on your would be to find a bunch of jobs like that where you know that ChatGPT could do like literally 99% of the work, and get like 20 full-time jobs. And have like 20 jobs where you're making $100K a year. You're pulling in $2 million a year, and you're doing no work. Yeah. You're just prompting ChatGPT, and it's doing everything. Oh, I'm sure there's probably someone out there. Like I have one friend who works in IT, and I think right now he's working 2 jobs. At one point, he was working 3 full-time jobs, making like, he was pretty senior, and so he was making like $200,000 per job.
Dude, that is.
I was like,
it's a whole Reddit for people who do this.
Yeah,
like 5 engineers doing like 3% of the work for all the jobs, but slowly just churning this wheel. And it's just like, man, we're really We're doing great. Society.
Dude, well, it's funny because that's the thing. Everything is so bloated that it is easy to just find a little nook in that fat and just hang out and like just grow for a while, you know? Just like,
it's like a fucking tumor. Just like, pretty much. What's going on
Here
over
you
there?
go.
Yeah, I feel like this cycle and like seeing crypto in the markets, it's given me a newfound appreciation for just like the people who have a really, really chill day job where they can still do whatever stuff they want.
Yeah.
But like work 10 hours a week and make some baseline salary.
Yeah.
Where like if you're not, working full time like at a startup in the space or something, like I feel like it's just kind of dumb to not have some shitty 9 to 5 that you don't have to focus on.
It's liberating because you're a bump on a log. You're just a benign tumor. Yeah, just hanging out. Has a skin tag on the sagging ass.
And every couple of weeks,
America.
some money adds to your bank account. You're like, cool.
Yeah, it's great.
Answer a few emails. With a smiley face. People act like you're the nicest thing that's ever happened to them, and then you just go on with your day.
I remember at my first job out of school, I fucking hated the job. My boss was a complete idiot. and it was like all based on, I was writing code, but it was all like this, we basically had like a list of shit that had to get fixed all the time. And because we were like scraping users' bank account information, like not like in a legal way, in like you know how you know when you like link your bank account with like Plaid or something like that, and so it was shit like that. And so like since the websites would always change, like getting the appropriate information was always changing, so you always had to fix it. And literally all that they cared about was just how many like incidents did you fix,
right?
And so you were supposed to just always like honor system take from the top. And I would just go, and I was the only person somehow of like this 20-person team who was like, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to look and take all the easy ones.
Yeah, why?
And so every week we'd go through and talk about like we'd have like an end of week sprint and see how much every person did, and I'd always have the most. And my boss was like, "Wow, Andy, you're so good at this. It's amazing." And meanwhile, I was maybe working like 2 hours a day. Maybe.
Yeah. It's the dream world. When everyone is so miserable that even if you show like a glimmer of like happiness or something, they actually they want to keep you around.
You're
longer.
top 5%.
Right, here he is. Like let's keep him around. He's kind of a mascot type character.
He smiled that one time. I saw him 2 years ago in the office, and like he asked me how my day was. Yeah. And he didn't just shut the door on my face.
Right, exactly.
I think we keep him on.
Yeah, keep him on.
It's like the bar is really low at some of, like, the bigger the corporate job, I feel like, or the bigger the government job, definitely.
For sure.
The, like, lower the bar is. Like, at my government job, it was like, if you responded to a response within 2 hours nicely and you help somebody fix it, you were, like, a top 10% employee.
Man,
I gotta ask,
dream world.
Andy, I don't think has heard the story about drawing pictures of the teacher in school and getting a reaction. Like, I gotta ask just so that he can hear it. Like, you were saying that you just create, and it has to come out.
Yeah.
Like, you just don't have a choice. Like, can you tell a story about being in class and like your teacher finds some of your work? Yeah. And like how that goes over.
Yeah, it was really funny because like, in many ways I think teachers expect like the lewd or like the like the dick drawings or whatever, but like I'd been furiously working on this magazine of him is a bunch of different robots, like just like, and they were just like
same teacher,
yeah. So like it was the same teacher. It was like a 200-page like magazine, and the robots were all like assigned very menial tasks, like just mundane tasks. Like there was a sweep bot, like it had like a little like broom in it, like little mechanical arm sweeping,
and it just looked like him.
Yeah. There was a balance bot where it was just a triangle, and then each of his robot heads were on each of the side, and it just kind of balanced it out and stuff. But so I was like furiously working on this thing for like months and months and months. And then I forgot it in the classroom one day, and like I had like also like made like order forms on the back of it, like Maria Bruno ordered 4 clean bots and stuff. So he found it, and like he's just like pacing through class. He just like holds it up at the start of class, and I'm like, oh dude, this is gonna be bad, because like everyone knew it was me. He knew it was me, and he just goes like. He's like, this is the most fucked up thing I've ever seen in my life. He's like, why did you make this? And who's ordering stuff? He's like, Maria, what are you doing with those 2 bots? He's like, come on, who put you down for this? And was like freaking out. And like, he knew, he was looking at me the whole time, and like nobody ratted me out. And I just sat there, like it was like the kid in Christmas Story, where I was kind of like looking around. I'm like, I don't know who it could have been. Like,
oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, this is freaking
like
wild. I
that.
don't know.
Oh,
Yeah.
it cleans?
It cleans too. Awesome. I thought it was.
I should have ordered some. Why didn't anyone give me a chance?
Yeah.
Is the order form still open?
What is this? Yeah, I'll put in an order if it's. But it's funny because that's the type of stuff like where I just like I loved like reactionary stuff and like getting people to like, you know, actually have some type of emotion in that sense. Like he probably still thinks about that day or something. So
yeah, I'm sure he's like sitting and having a drink with his friends. He's like, ever tell you about the kid who fucking drew these pictures of me as a robot?
200 pictures of
wakes up in the middle of the night.
Like, did you ever get the
No, he kept it.
Oh, he took it.
He took it, yeah.
I hope he still has it. It'd be worth something now.
It probably would
That's
be.
a Genesis.
He mints it. That would be great, dude.
You send him a message.
I'm like, hey,
teach.
Do you have that
I know it's a long shot, but you remember that notebook?
Oh, I would
That's
be
some of my earliest work.
It really was, yeah. Oh man.
Were you known in school by like the grade or student body as like that kid who's in the back of the class with the pen and paper, just like in his own world?
Yeah, kind of was. It was a little bit of both. Like, cause I also just like I also just raged in high school. Like, I was a big Steel Reserve guy, as you've seen in a lot of my drawings and stuff. So I loved high gravity Steel Reserves. Shout out if they want to sponsor us, right? Like,
we'd love a good sponsorship.
But yeah, and then like I started like smoking weed in like end of 8th grade, going into freshman year, and I felt like it just leveled me out a little bit. Like I'm somebody with like insane anxiety and stuff, and so that kind of helped just like get rid of some of that and level me out and just make it so I was just kind of hanging out. So I was friends with a ton of people, and like I was definitely, you know, hammering out weird drawings and stuff, but overall like I just kind of was just like chill, just a guy who listens to fish and smokes weed. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
just, like down to have a good time.
Yeah,
not, like drooling on himself in the back, like
exactly. Like, yeah, pretty much.
Oversized hoodie. And like smell like cigarettes and cat pee.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and without those memories, I feel like there's no way. Like we were talking before the pod started, I would have made it into the top 3,000 glory hole artists on NFT now. So shouts out.
How did you become a glory hole artist? Like that's a weird niche.
Yeah, it's a long story, full of twists and turns and knots, and I mean, it really just boils down to the obsession with. Well, the funniest part is I was thinking about glory holes and like the anonymity to them, and then also the prospect of like an unreciprocated orgasm. And then I kind of started thinking about how it's not all that different from like our transactional relationship with like the web and like the shit that we do all the time. It's just like kind of we're in a perpetual glory hole in some ways. Twitter's a glory hole, and like
fucking the glory hole,
right?
Trying to get any ounce of dopamine,
exactly,
chemicals,
right? And there's just nothing on the other side. There's never anything on the other side, right? It's just like it's always empty.
And maybe your dick's gonna get cut off,
and maybe you're gonna get your dick chopped off. Yeah. That's a potential.
There's just a butcher on the other side.
For
sure. Fucking cleaver.
So I became obsessed with the idea, and then I programmed like an FX hash project that was the first ever generative glory hole project, which was sick. I was like so pumped to see all. I'm like, look at these beautiful outputs. Oh my god, this one has the Guy Fieri stamp of approval, or this one has like the shit stains on it, or whatever.
Were you like actually like at a place in Indiana or Chicago that had a glory hole, or was this like
was there reference work
so I've only seen one in the wild, and it was actually in Canada. So we did a road trip up there, and we drove through, I believe it was like London, Ontario, and hit a truck stop bathroom. I mean, and it was a little eroded, and I'm not sure if it definitely was or not. Like, it was a little rusty and odd, but like,
it like bespoke shift. Like, maybe it was a one-time use.
Yeah,
definitely
exactly.
Not fully serviced.
Heat of the moment. Yeah, just it wasn't like your standard like corporate, perfect circle like.
Yeah, I feel like we've kind of gone past the golden age of glory holes in a lot of ways.
I think so too.
Which is too bad. We'll have a renaissance at some point.
I think so. Yeah. Well, with like the rise in flashlights and everything else, I guess people just say, "Look, I mean, why wouldn't I just go to Lion's Den?"
There's something about the adrenaline of the thrill of it.
Right.
It's like it could be anything.
Could be anything.
It's like you're buying a mystery box.
Yes.
And like you don't know what's in it. It could just be like a rotten onion, but like the idea of the box.
Yeah. Well, it's like what Wayne Brady on Deal or No Deal, where he's got the zonk bucks or whatever. He's like, what's in this little envelope? Yeah,
what's in this little hole?
Yeah, what's in this little hole?
I feel like the biggest issue is really discoverability. Like, if I wanted to go to my local glory hole, I don't even know where it is.
Yeah, they're the aggregators.
We need a map, right? We need the devs to get a map going or something for them.
What are the glory hole devs doing?
Mm-hmm.
We might need to move into the market.
It's
I think
a
we can
no-brainer.
get in there,
I think we
there has to be a bigger scene in New York than most scenes.
Yeah.
Just
I mean,
lot of
has
large
to be.
numbers.
Yeah.
So what else do you guys got on deck this week? Like, I mean,
I'm doing a good amount of pods.
Yeah,
It's
lots of
basically
pods.
2 pods a day, and then a dinner or a happy hour, and then miscellaneous gallery.
nice. Are you coming? Are you guys coming to the happy hour tomorrow?
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
Right
100%
after the pod, we're all good.
Yeah.
That's gonna be awesome.
I was talking with Alien Queen about it last night, saying how much I love 169 Bar.
Oh, sick.
I've never been there. Apparently,
It's
Yeah,
great.
like I wasn't even kidding. Like, literally, when I replied, I was like, I was there the night before. I literally was there the night before, and it was great. It was disgusting. The floor was more sticky than normal, which was saying something because the floor is always very sticky.
What's 169 known for here?
So 169 Bar is one of the most disgusting bars in the city, I would say, just as far as like aesthetics go. I wouldn't recommend sitting down for the most part.
Okay.
They normally, if I go, I'm drinking like a Miller Lite or like a High Life or something.
Is it a place where you're getting bottles over the draft?
Yeah,
Because
I don't even know if
they
have
don't.
draft.
They don't do draft.
Oh.
Well, yeah.
Well, actually, when I was
God.
there, they said they had a sign on
That they
on their
understand
keg.
the situation.
They said we don't have draft beer
You turn
anymore.
all the draft knobs in the glory
and
holes.
then like he was tweeting, there's one pool table in the back that's leopard spotted.
Okay.
Then they also sell dumplings, but the kicker is the dumplings are fucking awesome.
Really?
They are so good.
Wow. Okay.
So since it's down in like where a lot of the like small little hole in the wall dumpling shops are.
Yeah.
And so all those places sell frozen dumplings for like super cheap. And so 169 Bar just buys a bunch of these like actually really fucking
and then
good
resell
frozen
them?
dumplings, and then they
Nice.
resell them.
That's awesome.
They put them in little like Chinese takeout
Dude,
boxes.
so I know what you're talking about, those hole in the wall dumpling places, because
Yeah.
the Comp Stomp studio area last year, like the corner is like a place you go, and it's like you only can use cash, and the dumplings like 50 cents or $1. Like, it's
And they're
like,
amazing.
It's like almost free.
Oh, hell
and
yeah.
you like feel like you're stealing it.
Yeah.
But then you don't have cash.
Yeah.
So then you're like, well, shit. I'm
And so
paying.
that's why you have to go to 169 Bar because they take card.
So they buy the dumplings, upcharge them for 5x, but then they take cards.
They're a dumpling market maker.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
yeah.
smart.
But like it's a great place to go. You know, you're like drinking all day, and you're like, oh, I'm starting to feel like pretty drunk here. I could have some food, and you just order some dumplings and bring them right to the
Oh,
table.
that sounds incredible.
And it's like $4 or $5 for like 6 dumplings, and so you just order 60 dumplings and have a good time.
Man, yeah. Last time I was there, this dude rolled in that was dressed like Raiden from Mortal Kombat. I don't know if he's like a regular there or something, but he had the but he was like also rocking like the whole thing, and I think he was maybe cosplaying as Raiden from Mortal Kombat, but it
might have been Raiden.
It may have been Raiden. I didn't see any lightning bolts or anything. I was just kind of looking at him. I'm like, dude, that is definitely
He just
Raiden.
comes in and you just like finish him, and you're like,
Right? I
holy
just get
shit.
uppercutted.
Like, I need the duck.
I gotta get that.
When I was there last week or 2 weeks ago, there was a booth set up inside for I can't remember exactly what it was, but they had shirts that said "I love asshole." I swear to God.
Oh man,
And it was
dude.
just a picture of an asshole. It was something for like gay rights or something like that. But it was just it really fit with kind of the
That's
vibe.
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
No, it was
'cause it's-
sweet. I almost bought a shirt, but
I
my
would
fiance
for
said I
sure
couldn't.
buy that
She
shirt.
said,
That sounds
you can never
incredible.
wear
I could
that.
see you with a tie-dye shirt. The asshole is the center of the
Oh.
tie-dye. Like,
Oh, that'd
it's
be
like
cool.
a
It's a
rising
flesh colored
sun
and then a flesh colored tie
coming
dye where it's like a
out
bunch
of
of
the
different
asshole.
like yeah.
Look at his shirt right now. It kind of has like a radial vibe to it. Like instead of frogs, there's just
I've been emailing Online Ceramics asking for asshole shirts, and they will not answer my
Oh
emails.
man. That's the perfect like distillation of the vibe of 169 where it's like sweet, like this is a great it's an anything goes awesome place.
But it's actually like not kidding one of my favorite bars to go to.
Sweet, dude, I'm excited.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because like are you guys at the point already where like you're feeling like you're just like perpetually puffy and shitty looking? Because I'm already there. Like where you're just like you're just like dehydrated and decaying already. Of like
I'm reading The 4-Hour Body. I'm like, I just bought a fucking book called Outlive. I'm like looking at local DEXA scan facilities in my area to see what like my body fat to muscle breakdown is. Like I'm ready to like get blood work and realize how low T I am.
Yeah. Like, Keys and I are gonna start taking steroids. I think maybe if you're interested.
Oh, that sounds perfect.
I think it'd be cool. Yeah,
well, it's really the only way to like take back your masculinity. It's like,
well, you look at somebody like Sly Stallone, who's like the biggest HGH proponent ever, and like he's ripped. He's like 78.
He's still Hulk.
His head is the size of a tombstone, but like his fingers
are 4x the width of mine.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I was actually thinking about this the other day because I was joking with Allie that I was going to start taking steroids to lose weight. And it was only like
we weren't joking.
It was only like half of a joke.
So he's already on HGH.
Yeah.
Like
Well, no, like because I was saying to her, I was like, I've already fucked my body so much. I say I'm going to try to stop drinking less. I'm not going to.
Yeah.
I say that I'm going to try to start eating better. I'm not going to.
Yeah.
There's no way I live past like 75 no matter what I do. So I might as well just like take some fucking steroids and look good while
just
I'm doing
be
it.
Ripped,
yeah.
Right.
Like if I'm taking steroids, I'll probably have less body fat.
Yeah.
It's not so bad.
Think about the revenge bod reveal too.
Exactly.
At like next year's dinner, you like just whip your shirt off and you've got to do the pose where you go like this and you've just got like a sick revenge bod.
Oh yeah. That's what I'm thinking. And so like all that to say, I was thinking like Arnold Schwarzenegger seems fine. He was on steroids. Like, there's a lot of people
He's
who
still
fine.
like was a governor now.
Yeah.
Like,
and he was definitely doing way more steroids than I would do. I don't need to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
I just want to not have a beer belly.
Right.
So I don't know. If I could consistently eat Taco Bell and not get fat by taking some steroids, I would do it.
Yeah. I think that's worthwhile.
Yeah.
I think it's a worthwhile endeavor. I mean, why
one
not?
cheesy gordita crunch, one quesarito, one Crunchwrap Supreme. I have 3 meals.
A Baja Blast.
Yeah, Baja Blast instead of water.
Have you guys dabbled in that new cheese on the outside thing?
I did. I enjoyed it.
You liked it? I thought it was a little sloppy.
I was really drunk. I mean, it was definitely sloppy.
It's like they like melt the cheese.
Yeah,
they like melt the cheese on the outside, but it's not like really
it's like
melted.
Crusty,
it's kind of crusty and just like it absolutely destroys your clothes. Like you pretty much have to be wearing like you just wear a diaper and eat it, and then that's pretty much it. Like,
wait, I haven't seen this one.
It's pretty new.
I might DoorDash one right now.
Dude,
I would totally eat Taco Bell right now. I love Taco Bell.
Oh man, yeah.
That was one of the leading factors that caused us to buy this new house that we're in. Like
Taco Bell?
After the showing, we stopped at the Taco Bell.
Oh, it was a
like,
good one.
2 minutes away.
Yep.
It was the best Taco Bell experience I ever had.
When you find a good one, yeah.
I'm a particular person. I'm like, I don't want lettuce on the Crunchwrap. Like, I want fire sauce.
Yeah.
Please don't fuck up this very simple request. And they always fuck it up. This place was like, people were ecstatic to serve me. They rolled out a red carpet. They like gave me 75 fire sauces.
They let you know which bathroom had the glory hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, they gave me the diamond-studded glory hole bathroom so that when the fire sauce hit my stomach and I had to shit, like I was properly serviced. Like it was incredible.
Man.
It was one of those cantinas.
It's a cantina.
You a mimosa in while you're taking a shit so that you can just not leave the throne. And it's like a really high-class
I think
experience.
that people don't understand how important going to a good Taco Bell is versus a bad one.
Agreed.
Because people are like, oh, Taco Bell shit. Like, the food doesn't taste good. If that's the case, you just haven't been to one where, like, they put one iota of effort into making anything that you consume.
There's, like, very different experiences. Like, Chick-fil-A is, like, the baseline is always high.
Yeah.
Like, you know when you're going into a Chick-fil-A that, like, probably the worst experience is going to be a 7 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
Taco Bell is like a volatility roller coaster.
Oh,
like,
anything
you might get like cold beef that they forgot to like turn brown. It's still pink.
Yeah,
like you might just get lettuce that's moldy,
wilted, and
they don't give a fuck.
No.
I was writing for a while. I was writing this. I had started a poetry like prose book about Taco Bell, and it was just like it was getting pretty intense. I think maybe I'll finish it at some point. It was legit like. It was about this. There was like this priest that essentially set up like an altar in there, and then like he was just in there preaching every day and like converting people into these weird things, and it was pretty peculiar. But honestly, may need to explore it. Maybe we load up that cheese burrito over here, spice with some DMT, and just get to the thing.
Do you remember the? You like drop a coin in it and then you spin it.
Oh yeah, that was great.
And like some of them would be like. Free chalupa, like buy one get one free. I had to play that as a kid every time I went into a Taco
Did you ever
Bell.
hit?
I'd probably not.
No, I don't think, because the coin drops so fast just spinning that thing. Like
you weren't supposed to hit, but they would keep a coin or two on a couple of them to make it look like at some point somebody hit.
Yep.
We don't have those anymore.
No.
I
miss
like they need one where you go up with Apple Pay. It's a slot machine.
Dude, you do that every time, right?
Yeah, 50 cents. Fuck it. Like, spin the wheel.
And those were the best. Like, I don't know if you guys had this in college, but they would have like the shot wheel. Did you guys have that?
Yeah.
Where like you'd pay your amount, so it was like $3 or whatever, and then like you could end up with like a mat shot, which was they would like dump all the booze they'd been pouring on the mat.
I literally need to run to the bathroom, so I think
all
the coffee is literally forcing me to shit myself.
Oh,
so
shit.
I'm gonna go shit myself, not on the pod.
Do it. Are we recording, or are we?
We're always recording.
Oh, sweet. Okay, cool.
Fucking take shits in our pants on the pod.
Right.
Yeah.
Piss ourselves.
I diapered up, so I'm good.
Yeah, normally I'm the one who has to piss myself.
Normally I have another bottle, and you might just see like yellow shit just start coming out.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I got a bag.
Right. I got a bag in.
Like, it's just,
Yeah.
whatever can make the conversation as smooth as possible.
Yeah.
We go with it.
Have you guys had anyone on here that dips? Like, and just is sitting there and just like spitting in their little.
I wish.
Yeah.
We haven't yet.
I know that we've had people on the pod who dip, but I don't think they dip like on the pod.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Or maybe you have a snooze packet in that you can swallow.
I mean, we've definitely smoked on the pod.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
we passed the puff go around. We've eaten biscuits and sausage links.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like Guy NorCal made biscuits and like 70 sausage links.
Really?
For this
Holy
pod we
shit.
did, and it's just like we're talking for 2 hours while mosquitoes are flying around all the sausage on the table.
Oh yeah.
And we're like, should maybe we offer this to the people who aren't talking on the podcast, but like there's people in the house, but we have all the sausage out here.
And it's already been covered in mosquitoes.
Yeah. Like I kind of wanted to lick every one just to clear it for them, but I didn't.
Well, the most peculiar incidents are when you're like observing those type of insects where you like can't figure out what there's some bees. There was these bees. I had a huge order of Papa John's this one day. It was a Papa John sausage pizza.
Okay.
Sitting outside for a fantasy draft, and like these bees are just like fucking the shit out of this sausage, dude, all over it. And I'm just like, are bees carnivores? Like, I just like I couldn't figure out what it was, so I just got obsessed with it.
It's like
and I was
honey in there.
I was just watching him and staring at him, and then like I finally figured out that like I guess there is this type of bee that does eat meat somehow. I'm like, that's my kind of bee, but like
You just started a farm.
I should start a bee meat
like a
farm.
sausage hive.
Right?
It's just
it's a huge Slim Jim.
Papa John sausage in a film.
Yeah,
just hanging from a fucking tree.
That would be awesome, man. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was.
There's like a queen in there, and she's just devouring all the meat.
Oh, it'd be incredible.
I didn't know they were meat-eating bees. That's kind of scary.
It's kind of terrifying. Yeah, it was.
I'm the type where I see like a bee, I'm chill, and then I see one of the wasps or the hornets, and I need to kill you.
Yeah.
You need to be eliminated.
Yeah. Well, those things aren't like friendly, or they're not pollinating anything. They're just
I had
looking to
like
cause harm.
PTSD this one time. I was like 6. I was outside playing, got bit or whatever by one of those ones where the stinger sticks in you.
Oh yeah.
And then my mom had to get like the tweezer and pull it out, and it was like a whole thing, and then my arm puffed up, so I'm like,
it hurts, man.
Yeah, you don't I mean, I've never been shot or like stabbed.
Not yet.
But like, it has to be close.
I would say so. Yeah, I would say definitely. And I think that like, I don't know about you, but my tolerance for pain like dwindles exponentially every year. Like I become more soft and characterless by I don't know if you guys experience that, where your tolerance for anything.
You just wake up and you're like, my back. Like,
you're like, you sleep in a bed that's not yours for a night, and it's just like, I'm toast. I'm toast for a month.
The first night here, yeah, it was like my fucking back. It was like I was sleeping on a prison cot, and it's sore, and you're like, I don't know if I'm gonna make it today. Like I got a whole slew of shit to do.
Yeah, well, I wonder what that is. Why have we become so just like
we used
unable
to sleep on like the floor of like cave,
right?
Like maybe with some bushes, like some bush leaves as a pad.
And even in college, I feel like you could just sleep on somebody's floor. I guess it's just age, but we're not that fucking old either.
I mean, if I don't have like a Serta,
I'm 36.
Okay,
yeah,
a Serta
so, like,
purple fucking medium thin firm with a cooling layer with the aloe on top with an 8 sleep pod on it that I can control the temperature. Like, I can't sleep.
A dude from Mattress Firm quietly just giving you a massage. You're like, yeah,
I didn't get that upgrade.
Yeah, you gotta get
you
the
can get those in Indiana.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
he's with a massage boy, and he sleeps in the closet, but he comes out when you're awake. When you're asleep, he wakes up and massages.
Just one of those beds that like fold up into the wall.
Yeah, Murphy bed comes
fold
down.
It down. He comes out ready to fucking.
This sounds.
I'm gonna have to get that. I think Trill. I think he might have suggested that to me.
Yeah,
and I didn't take him up on it.
Anyone is anyone's getting one.
Yeah, it's an absolute must.
I need to go to that Chicago. There's a bed that's $300,000.
What? Oh, is it that horsehair one?
Yeah, they call it Hastings. Yeah. It's like this like Swedish,
and it's good because
there's a showroom in Chicago where you go test drive the bed.
How many?
And I'm like, do I want to go?
Do you like sleep there for the night? If I'm buying a $300,000 bed, I'm sleeping there for
sleep there.
Nights.
Yeah, agreed.
I didn't know. I thought it was maybe just to like try it. I don't know if it's.
I think you should go and say, listen, I really want one of these beds, but I'm only comfortable buying it if I could spend the night
with my wife.
Yeah, with my wife.
I need to test this in a variety.
I need to know. Right. You have to go. I need to know how this bed is for fucking.
Right,
so my wife and I are getting the place to ourselves for the whole night.
Sorry.
Is there a optional glory hole component
right.
that I can add in
for $300,000? The bed better be fuckable. I mean, like, I don't know what you guys are buying for $300,000, but like,
what do you think the horsehair is for?
That's true. Like, you're right. Yeah, it's delicate, supple. Yeah.
They only they go to like the fucking Kentucky Derby. They take the winning horse. They put it down immediately. They make the bed out of it. Like it's $300,000.
Man,
I refuse to believe that anyone needs a $300,000 or would even want.
I agree.
Yeah.
Bed.
I guess
there's a $50,000 model if the 300 is too rich for you.
There you go.
I've been sleeping.
I feel like the 300 is there to like anchor
the 50
you to the high number.
For sure.
You are likely to buy the 50.
You're just like, oh,
because you're like, oh, it's like it's only a sixth of the price.
It's like when you're at like Kohl's and you have the little sign and it's like these were $700 marked down to $32 and you're like, well, I mean, I'm gonna buy them because like that's what it was. It's like, these were designer, like vaguely used for some reason.
It's like a Ralph Lauren polo.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's like a little orange stain on it, and it's like 97% off.
That's dude. That is like my favorite.
How much of your net worth do you keep in Kohl's cash?
Quite a bit, yeah. My parents, of course, like every parent is obsessed with Kohl's, and so like my big Christmas gifts are like the quarter zip sweatshirt from like a college that I've never heard of, like whatever it is. Like this was on sale for it was like
it's
buy
like
3
South
get
Dakota 10. Polytechnical Institute of Technology,
exactly.
And you're like, oh, fuck
like awesome, this is great, yeah. But
it's 100% polyester. It doesn't breathe at all.
No, not a breath in sight, dude. It's locking in every wick of moisture on your body.
Gold toe socks,
like a pair of like really clunky New Balances. Oh, those are in now.
They're coming back. Are we rocking them?
Oh, you are for sure. I'm rocking like a super.
I'm wearing
clunky
shoes
pair
that were cool 6 years ago before he got canceled.
Oh, that's right. You didn't get rid of those things,
dude. You just wear them into the ground.
I
think so too.
Deez was texting me and he's like, I'm really glad he's saying what he's saying.
Right, I'm all in.
I just bought another pair.
Yeah, dude, he was sweeping the floor on StockX. He was,
I was like, oh, they're weak hands. Like,
right.
I can't believe they're giving up their grails because
sweeping.
But that's like we got them here in person. We got Kim Rim Kardashian. We got Johnny Cash.
So do you guys buy a lot of sneakers? Are you sneakerheads?
I used to more than I am now.
Yeah,
I was
probably own like 20 pairs of shoes.
Yeah, that's not bad.
It's not. It's way more than I had like 2 years ago.
Yeah,
I was the type where like in Ohio you would buy one pair of shoes a year.
Yep.
Probably a pair of like not Jordans, but like Nike
like
running shoes that have like Ohio State colors or Buckeye theme on it, and then you wear them every day for a year, and then they're ran into the ground, and you go to Foot Locker and you buy a new pair of something different.
Yeah,
and that's what I did for like 20 years.
I think it's coming back, dude. Honestly, like
now I'm like, I gotta have a shoe for each color of the rainbow.
Yeah,
I need to have like a blue and orange shoe. I need to have a yellow and purple shoe. It's a problem.
Yeah. I mean, especially for this event. I mean, for NFT NYC, you got to have one for each of the, like Bubba Gump shrimp night that we're doing.
Yeah, you need the orange lobsters.
The orange lobster.
Well, you were at Party City yesterday.
Yeah, Party City. Yeah. I met Summer, who's fucking incredible. She's like,
that was a great picture.
Awesome. That was
like better than American Gothic.
Well, it kind of was. So for those of you who haven't seen it, me and incredible, incomparable Summer Wagner took a back-to-back picture in front of Party City. Right before doing a bunch of nitrous balloons there, so it was sick. Yeah, it was super fun.
Have her on the pod in a couple of days, so she'll be coming out the same season that this
nice,
comes out.
Yeah. Sick. Yeah,
excited.
Party City is like the place to be. I don't know.
I mean, what's your favorite thing to do at Party City?
I think
Whippets. Right?
Whippets. Yeah. Although they don't generally fill the balloons with nitrous. I think you have to special request it. It's usually helium. But if you slip the dude a 20 and just say, hey, let's get the tank out, man. Come on, take me back. I'm trying to fish out.
There's this tank that has cobwebs on it. It's like that dark green. It's kind of oxidized a little bit. It was copper. But you're like, fuck it. Like, this looks good.
Oh man.
Does that have an expiration date? On the nitrous, you check that before hitting it.
I don't think I would check it. I've done some balloons that I would say definitely have expired. They have a weird taste to them. But I don't even think it's done nitrous balloons before.
No, I've not.
Like rotten eggs. Like what?
So usually it has like this kind of sweet taste almost to it, and like if it kind of tastes just like more, it was just kind of like chemically. I don't know what. It may have just been duster. Honestly.
Might have been research.
It may have been. Yeah, I was gonna say it may have been computer duster, but I mean, you're at a fish show and somebody's walking around with a huge thing of balloons. You're not gonna do that. You know what I mean?
That would be disrespectful.
It would be disrespectful to the environment. Yeah,
when in Rome,
we got a narc on our hands. Somebody just comes up and rips the front off your shirt to see if you're wearing a
wire. Yeah, man. How many times has that happened to you? Like someone's ripped off a shirt?
More than I'd like to admit. Yeah,
like half dozen.
Right. Well, the funny thing is, I feel like there are certain people that do appear obviously to be narcs. Like you watch them, they've got like the athletic shades on and stuff, and you're like, why are you wearing athletic shades here? Like this is
not an athletic event.
Yeah, this is not an athletic event. So yeah, super funny.
What's your favorite question to ask someone to suss out if they're a narc?
Oh man, that's a good. Well, you gotta. So at a fish show, you have to say, what's your favorite, like whatever version of maize or something, or what's the longest version of bathtub gin that you're into, or whatever it is, and some very specific fish questions. Which I don't know. Are you guys into fish?
No, I know nothing about fish.
But yeah, I'm not someone who's been to a lot of live shows. I feel like fish is kind of like the Grateful Dead in the sense that like you need to get in the live show culture.
You have to
experience it. Like you don't go to like YouTube and watch a video of their live show and get the vibe. You need to like be there in the thick of it.
Yeah,
and I haven't been there, so I feel like I don't have a good grasp on it. It's like I've never been to a Grateful Dead concert, but I've watched YouTube videos of Grateful Dead concerts, and it's just like I'm probably getting 20% of what I should be getting.
Yeah, because most of the thing is like they have a thing called Shakedown Street before at fish shows and dead shows where like it's literally people out with like I don't know how they're getting them, but like industrial sized nitrous tanks. People are selling anything and everything, like mushrooms, everything, and like
it's like the Hunter S. Thompson briefcases, all out a fucking slew of farmers market tables, and you're just like,
yeah,
this is middle America,
and then like everybody's in a K-hole where like. I remember seeing this one dude. It was like a really impactful moment for me. I don't know why, but like I cannot get it out of my head. It was this dude who had like cooked this like beautiful ribeye steak. Like it was probably a 26 ounce ribeye steak, and he was just sitting there looking at it in this K-hole and just staring at it, and like could not bring himself to like saw it up and eat it. And I watched him for like 15 minutes. Like, is he gonna take a bite out of this thing? And he just couldn't.
Did you think about asking if you could have it?
I almost did. I was like, cold. Dude, this thing's getting cold. Come on. Someone should enjoy this. But, like, I was obsessed with it. And, like, honestly, it's those types of moments that oftentimes, like, will inspire, like, a slew of pieces. Because it's, like, there's so much there to unpack where it's, like, heartache and waste and, like, consumption. And
what inspired the human peloton bike?
Oh, dude.
Like, do you have any important memories that inspired that?
Well, so, yeah, that's a good question. Like, in many ways, I think that I observe, I really enjoy observing what humanity could be, like, in a near future versus, like, like a Total Recall future. Or what's the movie? Blade Runner future. Okay. Where it's only, like, 3 years in the future and everything just kind of sucks still. So, like, I was just thinking about how everyone's always on their Peloton or whatever, and I'm like, dude, I bet at a certain point, Brazzers is just gonna like launch a Peloton app, and people can just watch porn while they ride. And then I started thinking about like the gamification of everything, and everybody's just like leaderboards. Let's do a fucking leaderboard. And then so I was thinking like they would just be like, oh, bring a Peloton expert over. We'll weld you to your bike, so you'll never fucking leave, and you'll always be on top of the leaderboard. So you're like sitting there, and your legs are just spinning, like watching porn and having like fucking Hungry Man dinner shoved in your mouth, and like. That's kind of the existence that I think is inevitable at this point, you know? So, like...
It's like instead of in your pod, you're, like, in your Peloton.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's just the human... It's like not human centipede, but, like, you're not getting off the Peloton.
Never.
But you are getting off on the Peloton.
You are getting off.
You're getting off on the Peloton, so you don't need to get off of the Peloton.
Exactly.
It's a very high-minded thing.
Yeah.
But then the visual... that accompanies it. It's just like this skin is flaking. Yeah. They're dry.
Yeah.
And every liquid in them has just been taken out.
Yeah.
And they're just left in this corpse of perpetual motion.
Just trying to make it up that leaderboard. Yeah. It was an extension of that was cool when so Colborn from Mocha, who's the shit, like he saw that piece. I think it may have been that piece or maybe another one, and that's when he built out this like virtual. He made a plot on this thing. I forget what the platform's called, but he's like, dude, let's build out like a virtual strip mall essentially. So it's a virtual reality like where we're from, Ohio, Indiana, and like just a shitty strip mall. And like the whole idea behind it was like our future is just as shitty as our past. Like we're just gonna be wandering around with VR rigs, but still just like at Golden Corral, you know, taking a dump or like doing whatever. Yes,
at the trough.
Exactly, at the trough.
Feeding on whatever slop that we can just get mass produced and sent at us. Mm-hmm. And we have a smile on our face. Like we're reveling in the slop.
For
like,
sure.
This is what we're meant to do.
Yeah, for sure.
Mindless
really
consumption.
This is our destiny.
Whatever garbage our overlords throw at us because we don't want to have any fucking responsibility.
Yep. I think that's it. I mean, it is, you know, it is a massive distraction. I don't know about you guys, but I find myself like Twitter especially, it's like we described, it is the ultimate glory hole because it's just like you're lifelessly thrusting into this thing all day, every day. And like, it becomes this site. It really does become a psychotic and perpetual thrust that is just unstoppable, you know?
And like the screen time alert at the end of the week.
It's awful. It makes me feel so fucking bad.
It's like 10 hours a day. And you open it up, it's just like 9 hours on Twitter every day. And you're like,
I've actually been like pretty actively trying to use social media less. Like,
and
I already basically only use Twitter.
Yeah,
I don't have Instagram or anything else. So I guess I'll like use Reddit, but that's to me Reddit at this point is more like a news app where it's like I follow the like NFL subreddit and the NBA subreddit to like keep up with the sports that I watch. But like lately, especially because right now I feel like there just isn't that much useful happening on Twitter.
Yeah,
and so I've been trying to be better about just like.
It's like
trying to
Twitter
get off
bird
the
is even more lifeless, and you're just fucking it even harder. Like something.
Come on, let's go.
One last ounce. Like
one more. I think you should leave meme tweet, and that'll be the one.
This might be the one that gets over 50 likes. I don't know.
Oh God. Well, and like I do think that honestly, it's a strange. Like I found. In some ways, I'm fueled by, like we've seen, like I'm fueled by the shit that happens on Twitter because I'm constantly like ridiculing stuff and doing whatever. But then in other ways, I honestly think that like it's really massively like euthanizing people's ability to like be creative and do stuff because you're under this constant onslaught. And like the moments we had when we were growing up, where you're sitting in a mall. I don't know about like how old are you guys?
I'm
like
30, about to be 30.
Okay, cool. So like, do you have smartphones like forever then, or
no?
Like, okay,
I
got a flip phone in 8th grade, and
okay.
I got a smartphone when I was like in 11th grade maybe.
Okay.
I had an iPod Touch a year before. It got stolen, and then my aunt gave me her like iPhone 3GS.
Nice.
And then that was my first like iPhone, but it wasn't. My family wouldn't pay for the data, so I was using it like an iPod Touch.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I was basically like
17. I think I got my first smartphone like when I was going to college.
Yeah, it's
so we
like
got a lot of time without it.
Yeah, like those moments of like psychotic boredom are where I think we thrive. It's like our ability to story tell, to think about stuff differently.
I mean, you're
like,
in an AIM chat room with Smarter Child, and you're just like, "What did you do in school today, Smarter Child?" And he's like, "I am a robot. I did not go to school." That's sick.
I do think that there's something there of like we've really made the idea of being bored like a really bad thing.
Yeah.
I don't think it's bad to be bored.
It's not. No.
And like, it's kind of nice to be bored sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty good at like kind of turning my head off and like not thinking about anything. And so it's funny because like my fiance Allie is not the same way at all.
Yeah.
And like on a Saturday, I could 100% just sit on the couch on a Saturday and do absolutely nothing and watch some like shitty reality TV show. And that's like an amazing Saturday for me. And she's just like is incapable of doing that, which it's funny to me. I feel like that's like significantly more how people are now.
Yeah.
I can't do it anymore.
I can't either, which is bad.
Like Mrs. D's can, but I can't. I'm like after like 3 episodes, I'm like I fucking shaking. I'm like I need to let something out. Like I don't know.
Have you guys seen I've been seeing a lot of younger people on like TikTok and stuff talking about getting dumb phones.
I've seen that. Yeah,
and
I've
starting
seen
to
that.
like go back to getting phones that like don't have anything on it other than like calling and texting
in browsers
Yeah,
right. and then those ones actually they do have the glory hole maps, which is
that's nice.
Yeah,
perfect.
so that's like the big that's kind of their big selling point.
I mean, you get those USB like extendable selfie sticks that also double as fuckable.
Oh yeah,
they
sure,
have like
absolutely.
a screw-on attachment.
Yeah,
those are getting popular. They sell them at the Verizon store.
I could see the price of the Cricket
It's like an
wireless.
OtterBox attachment.
Yeah,
it's just already there, ready for you.
Oh, that'd be
but no, I feel like the dumb phone is something where I would get it, and I'd be happy for a little bit, and then I would find myself going back to this because of the addiction.
Yeah,
and also I feel like it's part of my job.
It is.
Like it's weird.
That's the thing, right? Like you're more or less working when you're on Twitter,
yeah,
like, in some ways, but
it's a strange, unhealthy relationship.
Extremely
where you're, like,
unhealthy.
Always on, like, because everybody lives fucking everywhere, and like you have friends in Iran, Iraq, you have friends in the Middle East, you have friends in Tokyo.
Yeah,
like someone is up somewhere, sending you a fucking message.
Yeah, for sure.
Like it's 4:20 somewhere, they just smoked, and they're like, "Oh, hey man, what's up?" Like,
yeah.
And then at all points in the day, you're just knowing that there's something to respond to.
For sure.
Like,
absolutely. Yeah.
And it's just stacking up. It's like, if you don't, it's like the trash in the apartment. Now there's like 7 bags. And like the milk that you had 2 days ago is like on the floor. The cat scratched it.
Yeah.
Like that's how I feel like social media is, where I need to clean it up every day.
Agreed.
Or I come back and it's just like, who had a rager here?
Agreed.
Like, who ruined this? And then I don't even want to touch it.
Yeah.
So
too,
I have a bad relationship with it.
Yeah, sometimes I'll just like, so I use like an app that aggregates all of my messages.
Text
like,
HQ.
Yeah, shout out to Text HQ.
Oh, interesting.
It's a lifesaver,
Nice.
honestly. And so like, I have it connected to like my text messages, Telegram, Twitter DMs.
I can't aggregate the text messages. It doesn't work for me.
Do you do it on a Mac?
No, I'm on Windows.
I think it works for me because I'm on a Mac.
Damn it!
And so it's using iMessage.
Okay.
Fuck this fucking ecosystem. Like, I like blue text messages. I like my phone.
Oh, wait, is that a Droid?
No, it's an iPhone.
Oh, okay. I thought
But I
were...
use a fucking Windows PC,
I
and I cannot message anybody. And all my friends use Mac shit, and they're just spamming the group chats, and then I'm fucking copy-pasting messages to myself in Discord.
Right,
to open it up on my fucking computer. And I bought Text HQ thinking, like, oh, I can finally aggregate these fucking iMessages on the app?
Yeah. No.
So anyway, sorry. It's my only gripe about the Apple shit is how closed the system is. Like, they want me to suck off every dick they have. Like, I'm sucking off 2 Apple cocks. It's not enough. They're like, get the MacBook and only use it. It's the third dick in the trifecta,
right.
And then you will unlock
the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit of Mac dicks.
I have an iPad and I have this, but I don't have I have a MacBook, but I don't use it as my main driver. It's oh, I'm traveling, use the MacBook.
Yeah.
But like, I have this fucking gaming PC with like way better specs.
What's your go-to game?
Fuck, I don't even play games anymore.
Oh,
this
dude,
is a
it's
fucking
time
problem.
it might be time to retire that thing. Yeah,
I play League of Legends. I play Teamfight Tactics.
Yeah,
it's
for what it's worth, you can play Teamfight Tactics on a Mac. It's what I do.
You can play it on your fucking phone. You don't even need to play it on a computer. Like, it works on a laptop from 2008. Like, I don't need a $5,000 gaming computer.
No.
Yeah, I've realized that I don't
to play mini clip games.
Yeah,
like,
I just got a PS5, and that just feels way easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Are
have
you a gamer?
I'm mainly a Game Boy Advance guy, actually. Like, in all honesty, like my wife got me one 2 Christmases ago, like that old school, like the flip up one. I've got this game, Yu-Gi-Oh! Eternal Duelist Soul. It is fucking awesome, dude.
Dungeon Dice Monsters.
Dice Monsters, dude. My deck is nuts because I play it all the time, so I've got all the like dank ass cards.
Do you meet up with friends in real life with the link cable?
Dude, so they have it, but nobody else has a Game Boy Advance, and I would love to do that, but I don't know.
I've seen recently people with like this like new Game Boy system. It's like not actually Game Boy, but it's like some new tech company that's like making like OG Game Boys again.
Yeah, with like a bunch. It's like
like a ton of games preloaded and stuff onto it.
Sick.
I kind of want to get one,
dude.
Because like I have a Switch and I fucking never use it.
Yeah,
it literally just collects dust in my closet.
Well, because like the battery, you can't really travel with it because it doesn't have a good battery life, and then it's just kind of like there's not that many great games.
I have to use it as a console on a TV. Like I never.
Just sit there
like a Game Boy.
Yeah.
It's always on a 70-inch TV, and I'm holding a controller.
Right.
It's like wireless.
So at that point, what's the point?
I'm never gonna be like the person on a plane with my Switch in kickstand mode,
right?
With like holding my fucking controller.
For sure.
I don't know. I'd rather play TFT on the phone.
Yeah.
How was you guys' flight out here? By the way, any good stories?
I only walked here from.
Oh yeah, you walked here. What about you?
It's a pretty good flight. This one, I went to the bathroom, and immediately there was turbulence. It was like very smooth flight the whole time. I closed the bathroom door, lights flicker, like lightning in the distance. Like I piss all over myself because everything's shaking, and like it's a tough shot. And then I walk out and turbulence is gone. And it's like, did I just walk into the Twilight Zone in the bathroom?
This is the afterlife.
Did you guys experience the same thing? Is this just one of those rumble pits where like you go and they shake the cage?
Yeah, like a John Taffer like
I'm
bar
scared of
rescue
airport bathrooms. Like I normally
same with me.
Not airport, but on the airplane.
Absolutely,
they're just not a good time. No one likes.
It's like tight. It kind of has a faint smell of shit.
So
like you normally choose the worst time to go in. Like a kid who just shit his diaper and like.
I was wondering how long the water has been in the sink or the like. You
hit
wash
that
your
button
hands,
and
but
it tells you like make sure you're not sitting when you hit this because it's not a bidet.
Yeah, right.
And it lets you know like.
Yeah,
but I don't trust that.
I don't either.
I don't flush. I just wait for the next person.
Yeah, I guarantee someone has washed their ass in one of those sinks for sure. I mean, like, not even. Yeah, it's not even a question.
Yeah, on my last flight back from LA, one of the bathrooms was like totally fucked, and it was in tough shape. There was just like the tissues were just all over the place. Like the entire floor was just covered in tissues. Like it made me feel like someone like pissed themselves on the floor, and then instead of like actually cleaning up, they just like put tissues down on the floor.
Oh man,
yeah, that was a weird flight in general. Some woman like passed out. I was worried they were gonna like land our flight mid-flight.
What?
I'm like sitting there watching TV, and all of a sudden I hear clapping in the middle of the flight, and I was like, "That's not good.
No,
why are people clapping?" And I turn around, and there's like the fucking masks hanging from the ceiling, and everyone's standing around, and some old lady, I don't know, she was down bad. And so we had to like wait when we landed so she could get medical assistance and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't
Do you
think
ever
she
strike
died.
up conversations with people on the airplane?
I really try not to. Although it was funny. This is hilarious. This dude was watching me draw this piece. We were on the way to Hawaii, and like he was seeing all sorts of stuff because, like, as you know, there's Pornhub in a lot of my pieces, and like all these like insane logos, all this insane stuff. And he said like, "Hey, excuse me," I think he's probably like 55 or something. He's like, "Can I ask like what you're doing over there?" Like, and he was just like kind of just like it was a really genuine and kind of sweet question by somebody who clearly was just like he was actually curious. He's just like, what is that stuff? Like what are you doing with that? Because I'm sitting there hammering it and like dragging color drops all over the place and stuff. And I kind of explained to him like about the stuff, and he was asking for like my he's like, "Well, what's your art handle?" He's like, "I'll look you up." He's like, my son's super into this stuff. Maybe I'm just like, so I gave it. I don't know what happened with it, but it was pretty funny. He was a nice guy. Yeah,
That might be my dad.
It might have been your dad. It was on the way to Hawaii. Yeah, it was very funny.
That's really funny.
It was cool. And then in that same flight, the dude I was sitting next to, we take off, and he proceeds to crush this like 24-ounce V8, like huge tomato juice thing, and then like 20 minutes later, he just pukes all over himself. and I'm just like, dude, what? And then he's just sitting there, and he's like watching like Ant-Man and the Wasp or something, and I'm just like, hey man, like you gotta clean yourself up, dude. Like, what is going on here?
He puked and didn't clean.
He didn't clean up at all, man. Like he gotten some of it in the bag, and then he all that tomato juice, some of it in the bag, but like shirt was like dribbled all over, pants were all fucked up, and then I just like watched Ant-Man flying up somebody's ass or something, and I'm just like, dude, like I had to go get the flight attendant, and I'm like, hey, like I'm so sorry, but this dude is covered in V8 stuff, like. And he's not moving, so they came over and they're just like, "Hey," and he's like, "Oh, sorry, motion sickness." I'm like, "Look, dude, it's okay, but like, I would love if you just go to the bathroom and get some of this off."
Yourself up and clean yourself off.
That's the thing about flying is like, there's no other real circumstance in life where you are choosing to sit next to someone you don't know that close,
dude,
with no other options for like 6 hours.
No,
it's a total crapshoot.
Yeah.
And like it's always weird too because like you can tell when someone's looking at you, what you're doing. The worst one that I had was I was sitting next to like a 12-year-old kid and his mom was next to me, and I don't remember what I was watching, but basically the entire episode was just a sex scene.
Oh,
like, it was just like full on sex, and I'm just like. I want to keep watching.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I need to see what happens.
But I know that this kid is like totally just watching this sex scene, and I like just turn my iPad a little bit. Yeah,
it's Game of Thrones.
Yeah, sorry. Oh man, it is a weird place, and especially when you're on Southwest or Spirit, and it's just the Greyhound to the skies. You're ready to just rock on those things. Like you fight for your seat. I mean,
feel like even JetBlue is like that sometimes. Like it feels really chaotic.
Yeah.
Like I think one thing that always blows my mind is. Essentially, without fail, every time you're bored, you're like going through all the different motions of getting on an airplane. You will interact with someone who it genuinely seems like they have never been on an airplane in their life before.
I know, right?
And like, I just don't understand.
Right.
Like there was recently, I think it was when I was going to LA, but I don't remember. And like, the guy in front of me, in going through the security. You know how like when you go through security, there's like 4 different places you can go, and you take all your shit off, and so there's like 4 open bays, and then one woman in like the first one, and he's just standing behind her waiting in line for her to be finished. And I was like, dude, you got to go to one of the other ones, and he was like, oh really? And I was like, yeah, like there's 4 other places to go here. He's like, oh okay,
yeah,
and like he didn't know how airport security worked. But he also like was in the TSA pre-check line.
Yeah, you're like, how did
and so
you
I was
get
like,
here,
how did
dude?
you get in the TSA pre-check line and also not know how airport security works?
I think, man,
couldn't really stone.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, I hope
that
it was
might,
like a 50-year-old guy.
I've been there, and I'm like, oh, there's like 4 open lanes, but like this lady's here, and like it looks pretty safe. Like it's probably gonna take me 30 seconds to like fumble my keys and my phone into the bag anyway.
Yeah.
So like. Let me just get behind this lady and
just standing.
Like,
fair enough.
I've been there.
True. Just standing fully nude in that thing. Like 5 minutes later, you're just like, all right.
I could have sworn you said take it all off.
I could have swore.
Oh, the belt too?
Yeah. Okay. Just here we go.
I'm gonna be honest. My pants are way too loose. If the belt comes off, pants are coming off.
Yeah.
No, that's my cock ring. That's not
Prince Albert. The doctor at Claire's Jewelers told me not to take it out. I'm sorry. This thing's got to stay in.
I just got this pierced last night.
Sorry,
like,
dude.
Infected.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Like, I don't want them to have to cauterize it. Can you please?
Like, you're going to have to find some sanitizer
like,
at Hudson News and dab this thing down
on 2
or whatever.
Gloves.
Yeah, put on 2 gloves. Come
yeah.
on. Yeah, it's funny. Like, I think that's just an overall state of humanity too. That like everyone's just fucked out. Nobody has any idea what's going on anymore. And like if you see a line, you just get into it, and it's just like, all right, cool. This is something or maybe I don't know.
Something's gonna happen.
I'm notorious for doing this at any type of food thing, specifically at an airport where there's just like huddles of people when you're never quite sure. Like, is that the line? And I will never ask.
No.
God forbid I need to fucking talk to someone I don't know. I will sit awkwardly behind a line of 12 people, and it's like, oh, holy shit, that was like Snow White and the 8 Dwarfs, and they were just waiting for their food. And, like, the line is over there, and I just waited for 30 minutes. It didn't realize. Like, that happens constantly. Mrs. D is just like, just fucking ask. I'm like, yeah, but I don't want to bother them. Like, they look.
I know. I've been trying to get better at asking stuff, dude. It's our Midwest. I think it's Midwestern, very Midwestern to just
we'll just figure it out.
You
like,
just never want to.
Herd. Like, where's the shepherd at? Oh, he's over there. Okay, like let me just.
Yep.
All right, I'm in line.
Like, do you do the? Oh, sorry. If I don't mind if I scooch by you here, do you use that or no?
I mean, like. it's tough. Like normally I don't want to touch anybody.
Yeah.
It's something like too tight.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, fuck. Like I'll just wait. Like 5 minutes maybe. Like maybe someone will move. And then eventually it's like you slowly touch them. You're like whispering in their ear.
So
like
it's like a little sexual.
Like,
so sorry.
I gotta get by. Like my wife's over there. Like I love being married because that's like this excuse that I can just do shit.
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah.
oh, my wife. Like,
sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, like,
My wife.
My what? Yeah.
And it's just great. I'm like, I don't know what to say. I'm like, I gotta get to my wife.
You can be like, you can do that classic like 55-year-old dude joke where like, look, tell you what, if you had a wife like mine, you'd want to be over there right now because I'm gonna get my head chewed off. Just the worst kind of humor.
Yeah,
You're like, dude,
god
damn it, this is terrible.
Like, loaded. Like, I need to go protect my wife.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
asked.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
It's good.
Do you watch I Think You Should Leave?
Dude, that's the skit I was
I
thinking about.
just made
exactly.
Allie watch that
So
skit
funny.
the other day.
Yeah.
Have you seen that
No,
one?
I
Bruce?
haven't. I feel like I've watched.
You
the
need to
show
watch.
through your shit post.
Yeah. So there's one where it's like just these dudes having like a poker game, drinking beers, and they're all making shitty wife jokes and whatever. And this one guy gets up and he's opening up a beer, and they're like, "Oh wow, you're going for the record tonight for most beers." And he's like, "Yeah, you'd be clugging a few cans too if you had my wife." And then it just like why this show is so amazing is it goes off into this fucking ridiculous tangent where he says that and then he's like stops and he's standing there and he's like thinking, and then it's like this memory of this time where he's in a like his local play and the other guy's like a total asshole to him and his wife is really supporting of him and he's like, "No, you know what? I take that back. I regret saying that. I love my wife and she's so supportive and I think I'm just going to go home." And he just leaves. It's
awesome.
such a good skit.
That's me at the bar, like 50% of the time.
Yeah.
It's just like I think I'm just gonna go home.
Well, I think that's the move though. Like when saying goodbye is so, it's just so
I
stupid.
say
I do it
everything
every
now.
time.
Yeah.
And this happened. It's funny. This like being sorry for everything happened last night at dinner. And it's funny because Summer's from I think like somewhere in Illinois or something.
Yeah, Midwest.
Midwest for sure. So we are trying to like flag the waitress down for our check, and both of us are doing the same thing. We're like, "Hey, I'm so sorry. Just whenever you, just no rush, but whenever
Like
you have a
we'd
chance,
love to pay you.
we love to pay you. Yeah, just but no rush. It's okay. But just whenever
Like
you
we
have a
really
chance,
want to fucking leave.
yeah, we want to go really bad.
I
Like
really
we're
need to
done.
shit.
We're
Like, I don't want to ruin your
Yeah,
night.
I don't want to. But
you could help us out a lot by expediting the check.
Yeah, I could ruin your night if you want.
But yeah, but it's strange. I feel like that guilt and that like sorrow is a weird thing to carry around, and not everyone does. Do you have that? You're from Newark, like right?
I'm from Jersey.
Or Jersey, yeah.
No, I'm definitely like a bit more of a New York asshole.
Yeah, yeah.
In that sense, where like, I definitely, like I would say when it comes to especially like at a restaurant with like servers and stuff, I lean more towards like, I generally get that like their life is probably not, they're not having a blast today.
Yeah,
At
and
work,
there's
it's
probably
like-
a ton of people who are being dicks. To
Yeah,
them,
it's like
so,
I don't need to be an asshole, and also like especially living in this area, honestly, like one of the ultimate cheat codes is just like not being a total dickhole to the service people. Because now Allie and I have like a taco place where we basically drink for free whenever we go, a brunch place where we drink for free whenever we go, a local dive bar, just because we like speak to the bartender like they're a real human being. And,
Right, like it's not a big ask.
Yeah.
You just have to be a human being.
But we just say like, "How are you today?" And they're like, "Oh my god, it's so great that you're here. You have no idea." Like literally, there's this bar a little bit down where we were like the first time ever going there. It was like pretty crowded. We were surprised. It was like a Saturday night. It was like 9 p.m. And it was like really crowded people eating, which I was caught off guard by. And we're like going up to try to get to the bar to have a drink before our table's ready. And there's like this group of like 5 people who aren't from the area. Obviously, they have like some European accent, and they're like clearly giving the bartender a hard time. And so we like waited a good bit to like try to order, and then like our table was ready, and we like ordered our drinks right before we sat down. And the bartender came over afterwards, and she was like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
You're like,
I was
it's all
really
good,
busy."
dude.
And we were like, "No, those people are being total fucking assholes." Like, yeah, no, it's totally cool. And she was like, "Oh my god, do you guys want to do a shot with me?" We were like, "Yeah."
Yes,
and now that same person is like legitimately Allie's friend, and like they go out to drinks, the two of them
That's
together and
awesome,
stuff.
dude.
But it's just like, so especially with that kind of stuff, I feel like it just is way worth it to not be an asshole.
Well,
and I think it's
yeah.
like kind of is like almost like opposite, where in this area where a lot of people are just really rude and not nice, it's just very convenient to not be that way because then people are nice to you too. But I also am a bit like, especially in Europe and stuff where service is really slow, being so used to New York,
I'll
be like,
right.
what the fuck's going on? Like, I've been sitting here for like 15
but
minutes and no one's come
York.
over.
See, this is like, I am so used to Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts, whatever fucking coffee shop
cranking them out
that
in
has
5.
like one other person there, and I'm out in 2 minutes. Like, you go to a place in New York, and you get like 2 coffees, and maybe you just get 2 fucking cold brews, and they flip the thing around, and it's like automatic 25% tip, and you're like, I just paid $7 for a cold brew, and now you're asking me to tip you 25%, and then okay, I tipped 25%. Took me 25 minutes to get the fucking cold brews, dude. Like, what were they doing? Like, it wasn't fucking.
Here's
my
controversial take. I've stopped tipping at those things.
Oh, you have?
I have.
Like,
it's liberating. Yeah.
They make it so awkward. You have to hit like 6 buttons to tip 0. You
Custom
have to hit
tip,
like
0.
other,
right.
no, 0.000. Then there's a red flag that comes up that says, "Are you a fucking asshole?" And then you click yes, and then you enter your email address, and then you cannot tip them.
Yeah.
But like, you have to do all that. But the plus 25% is like a giant green button that's like Vegas lights. It says click here.
Yeah.
You might win.
So when you go on a site and there's the button accept all cookies, like that's what a tipping thing is become. It's just like, what is going on? I just got a cold brew.
So my stance is I would rather tip more when I'm actually getting service.
Right.
And like literally, I could have gone back there and poured myself the cup of coffee. And
just let me go back there. I know the fucking can.
I'll put an apron on. Get back there. Yeah.
I'll put a glove on. I'll put the hairnet.
Yeah.
Put me in.
Well, I was dying too because like post-wook, incredible post-wook. But she had this really good post, like it was about like etiquette for NFT NYC or whatever, and it was like, but some of the points were really just being human in some ways. But then
shit on the floor.
But then in other ways it was like it was super insightful and it was hilarious to see people like there was a couple comments on it that were like, isn't this just being human? And it's like, yes, it is. However, many people forget that. It's like, because some of the things were like, hey, like talk to the partners of the people who you're there with and stuff. And it's just like, but I've seen it happen where it's just like those people are just thrown away and they're like, no, they're great. They're cool as fuck. Like just talk
I
to
fucking married her.
Yeah, I fucking married her.
Every conversation
super
doesn't
cool.
have
like,
to be a way for you to like network with someone or something.
That's the excruciating part. That's like, and I don't even. It's weird, dude. I never know how to even introduce myself at these things. Like I just say Mark.
Yourself, you say your name, and then they're like looking for like the person behind you. They're like, somebody please.
Right, dude.
They're like, wait, who the fuck brought this guy?
Well, it's funny. It's true because like last night I had a couple of those things where I just like I just say a Mark or whatever. It's like the most average name to ever exist.
Mark.
And they're like, okay, sweet. And then they're just like shaking my hand like already like looking for who the next person is. Like who is this? Like it's funny as fuck and also really sad and like insane. But yeah,
people are really bad, and I think especially in like this space.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I say this with a lot of love. There's especially a lot of guys who just like have not spent a lot of time outside of their basement who like they're not crushing the eye contact game. It's hard. It's hard. And, like it is what it is. But like, and so you bring your wife to this shit, and it's like they can't fucking have a conversation with a woman who they've never just meeting for the first time. Like that is not their forte.
Yeah,
but no, it's funny. It does feel like so much of it is like networking for people. And
it does,
that always
which
feels like kind of gross to me.
It's excruciating, man, because it's like this is the place that we come to as like a reprieve from the horrible. Well, what I still work in, where people are just like, hey, endorse me on LinkedIn, like what's going on?
Can you endorse
like,
my
can you endorse my PowerPoint or whatever?
Yeah,
I'm like,
fuck yeah, dude, you crush that.
So that's
nice clip art,
right? Exactly.
Your transitions were fucking crazy, dude. They were popping off.
That auto time, that
it was just insane.
Just to really set the mood. Felt like I was in a fucking Alka-Seltzer commercial. Like, thank you for that.
Oh yeah, the live demo you did on Zoom was fucking so sick.
Yeah,
but it's
especially the crying baby in the background.
It was perfect.
It was
glad you shut the door halfway through. That was very respectful.
Right? Sorry, everyone. But you're right, and like that's the part that is so enjoyable about this is like shooting the shit about like not the stuff that we're in all the time, like I don't want to talk about it all the time.
Literally anything else.
Just anything. Yeah, I'm good with whatever, like.
So I like the pod.
Yeah, it's great.
Like our excuse to like we had the more pointed conversation, state of the art, which was much more like let's talk about the art, let's talk about this. But then the pod is a much more free flowing. Let's sit down at the bar, grab a couple drinks.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, talk about glory holes.
A couple pomegranate Michelob Ultras.
Yeah, just so you can fucking get into.
Yeah, for sure. I gotta take a piss in a second.
Yeah, go.
I'm gonna
Go
go.
ahead.
We're back. We're back from
back.
the piss break.
Yep.
I don't even know what I was gonna say. We're just like, I'm back from the piss break.
What else are you doing in your free time that's not NFT and crypto shit and your job where you send people emails?
That's a good question, dude. I became obsessed with frolfing last year after visiting Art Gnome at his remote cabin. So he's a big frolf guy. I don't know if you knew that.
What is this?
Frisbee golf.
Oh, frolf. Okay.
It's more or less an excuse to go out in the woods and get stoned as shit. But at the same time, you're throwing around this plastic object, so it kind of makes it a little bit more acceptable to do versus just I'm gonna go sit on a picnic table and rip bong loads for 3 hours.
That would be what I would do.
It's also nice, but at least you kind of have something to do. But yeah, I do some frisbee golf shit. Dude, I still write. I write a lot too. So when I'm not drawing stuff, a lot of my time is spent just writing prose or whatever and that stuff. But yeah,
are you much? I get the feeling you're more like the James Joyce stream of consciousness.
Yes.
When you write, it is just a river flowing.
For sure.
And then how do you edit? You come back the next day and you're like, what did I do?
No,
or the next week or whatever.
It's funny you ask that because I don't edit stuff. I write it and it's just there and there's no punctuation or anything. And luckily, for the couple of books that I have, the publisher's been super cool and they've spent ungodly amounts of time editing the insanity. They're what do you mean?
I was reading Very Shady Jobs. And
yeah,
it's edited.
It is edited.
It's not stream of. I mean, it is stream of conscious style, but it is clean. It's not there's fucking missing punctuation,
right,
and,
right,
hanging apostrophes and shit.
Yeah.
I mean, there was editing, so I was curious as that was the publisher.
The publisher helped out with that. But usually, for the ones that I do for my pieces and stuff, it's just I'll just sit at the computer and just be it's just flowing. And I just let it out, and that's just pretty much it. So. Yeah, those are my big. I feel those are my big things. I don't know. What do you guys do? It's a funny kind of question too because most everyone just says I like my dog. I like being outside.
I like oxygen.
Yeah, right.
I do this thing. I respirate, and I just fucking convert oxygen into CO2.
Right, exactly. It's just nice. Just lay around,
sitting there, and just breathe.
It's really, really nice.
It is for me, I mean, my answer is lame, but it's I like going for walks. The only thing I do where I'm not giving my soul to a blue light is me outside walking.
Yeah, for sure.
And then other than that, it's in some fashion, I'm just taking pieces of me and letting the screen just suck it in. Whether it's outside on the fucking phone, whether it's on the laptop, on the couch, whether it's at my desk, standing or sitting.
Yeah.
I'm being sapped of the energy. So for me, it's just really going outside. I'm not athletic. I don't really do sports.
Yeah, yeah. Have you guys been to Sedona or anything, or one of any of those places that are renowned for actually not being on your phone, more or less?
No, you would think that maybe I would put myself in a position to do that.
Yeah.
But no, I'm
you should hit it
in
up,
fucking
dude.
Vegas.
Yeah, the world just screens everywhere, right?
Or fucking
you should
LA.
you should take a long weekend and not bring your cell phone with you. And not bring your computer and just
I need to do the Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, the dark mode or whatever.
Go into a dark room,
72 hours. Come out of it I've made my decision.
Dude, that would be awesome, man.
All dramatic and shit.
I've made my decision. I'm sweeping the floor.
You should do the solo escape room, book an escape room and do it, but you're just alone in there.
Just don't come out. I'm chilling for a while.
The guy is just monitoring you, and you're just looking around, just taking naps. And,
I'm just sitting there cross-legged.
You brought a snack. You're having a sandwich.
He's like, "Do you need help with? Do you need help with one of the clues?"
And you're like, "No, I think I'm getting there.
I'm good. Yeah, just give me my time, dude."
Here, my dude. Just let me work. I'm operating.
Yeah. I wanted to do that was a piece that I still think that I may do. So
solo escape room.
Well, I wanted to do DMT and then do a GoPro solo escape room. So then I would just be in there with a camera on and just mint myself trying to figure out how to get out of this escape room. I feel it'd be really funny, but yeah.
That would be a very do you ever put yourself in those predicaments in real life just to see what happens?
Or... Not really. I think I used to a lot more.
Yeah.
But now with our tolerance for just pain and suffering and stuff, and just I've kind of eroded my ability to do that.
I've accidentally done that where you're oh, my friend's giving me mushroom pills.
Yes.
This dose, and we're at a Halloween party.
Yep.
And then you eat them, and he's like, oh, yeah, I think those were, like, double the dose I thought they were.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, I guess I'm just going to have, like, a trip at this Halloween party. Yeah. Like, I put myself in those situations, like, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah, you're constantly, like, looking, well, let me, I don't know.
Let me wait.
Yeah,
like,
let me wait.
Pull up my scale. And, like, are you sure?
For sure.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
But now I'm, like, much more conscious. Like, you
Same.
do those a couple times, and you're like, maybe I don't need to be on psychedelics in a random environment.
Yeah.
See what happens.
I think that's pretty fair.
Even, like, and even, like, you know, last night I felt like I could have probably done the classic, like, 15 beer move or whatever, but I stuck to 3 beers and 2 cocktails,
Okay.
like, you know, a formidable, like, enough for, like, kind of to feel like shit, but not enough to be. But there's always that point in the night that I feel like where you're like you're on that edge of the precipice
it's
of just
decision
like
time.
Yeah, like
looking over the hole, like I could jump in this bitch
right
now.
for sure.
Let
Like,
me
I
dive in.
could totally get a beer and a shot right now if I wanted to. And
Yes.
it would change the trajectory of my night.
Yeah, and there's nothing better. I feel like the beer and a shot deal is when you start when you're just feeling great. You go into like God mode and you're like, oh, I'm unstoppable
You're
at
like
this
2
point.
hours
Like,
away from the opposite of God mode.
yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Like I could have so much Jameson and Miller High Life right now. Like you have no fucking idea.
You want
Exactly.
to challenge me to a drinking contest?
yeah.
You want to do a shoey, bro?
You gotta,
God,
have you
the
ever
shoe.
been to Rockarola around here?
No,
You'd
I
really
haven't.
like it. It's a few blocks away from here, a few blocks away from where you're staying as well. It's this like intentionally really shitty dive bar. That's all. It's like themed like 80s rock music.
Okay.
And they have a shuffleboard table in the back. But they serve their like main drink is Budweiser that they serve in these like big heavy chalices. And they're like $3 for a Budweiser.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
And then they have this other drink that's literally called the coffee thing. And it's like a coffee colada with whiskey in it.
Oh, that sounds nice.
It's a very nice time. It's like it's pretty grimy.
That's my vibe for sure.
Yeah, generally I don't think any of the bartenders really want to speak to you. Don't smile at
Love it.
anything. It's a good time though.
I went to one here that they were serving a Gatorade Arita.
Oh, you were at Rockarola.
Well, was that rock and roll?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or no, not Rockarola. Roebling Sporting Club.
Maybe that's what it
Yes,
was. Yeah.
the
That sounds
Gatorade.
classy.
A lemon lime Gatorade Arita.
Yeah.
It was great.
You were at
It was
Roebling
good. Yeah,
Sporting
like,
Club.
yeah.
That's one of my favorite bars.
It was great. Yeah, I saw it
Yeah.
on the menu. I'm like, absolutely a Gatorade
It's
Arita.
pretty good.
It is good. Yeah, I mean, like,
I really want one right now.
Geez, I think you had one when we were there.
Did I?
Yeah, remember when we were standing outside that one day watching football with like Keyboard Monkey and Size Chat and
Yes,
stuff?
yes,
It was like
yes.
the first time you met Allie.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
remember this place.
I think you had.
probably
I
did
think
have
you
one.
had a Gatorade Arita.
Because that's like one of your go-tos.
Yeah, that's like
bar.
where I go to. Was it a sports bar?
I don't even know, man. Like, it was. I don't remember. I mean, I was pretty drunk
fucking
at this point,
3
but
or 4 TVs outside,
Yeah.
and then they have that whole slew of like newly created indoor-outdoor seating. With
It
the
is
fucking-
probably where I'm
Yeah.
going to go tonight to watch basketball after our dinner. If I'm being honest.
nice. Where's dinner at tonight?
We have dinner
Cafe
at Cafe Colette.
Nice.
You trying to come to dinner?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna crash.
If you want to come to dinner,
No,
you
I'm
should.
kidding.
No,
I
you
don't.
definitely should. So like,
We actually have a spot.
What?
very, very interesting circumstances and unfortunate circumstances. Like, one guest got COVID, so they're not coming. Their +1 isn't coming because
Oh yeah,
COVID.
yeah. So everyone.
And then, God bless, one of the guests is actually in a coma right now.
Oh no! Oh my
Yeah.
God, that's awful.
So like,
Shit.
if you want to come to dinner,
Maybe I will. Well, yeah, I
we'll be in
think-
Brooklyn. It's a Brooklyn dinner.
Sweet.
It's like walking distance from here.
Sounds good. Yeah, maybe I will. I've got. I think I'm doing the wrecked guy party with Alien Queen tonight. But
That's gonna be a vibe.
yeah, it's gonna be.
I think you're planning to go to
trying
that,
to go
right?
after dinner.
Yeah.
oh,
That's at the
it's in
the
the
fucking
box.
crazy bar where
Yeah.
we were there last year, and this girl's in a bathtub and she's just squirting water like out of it's just everywhere.
Wow.
And then she's like crawling on the people in the front row. So like,
Oh.
the alpha is like you need to
Oh.
get upstairs in like the VIP area.
Yeah,
it's like
you
the
gotta
no
get
squirt zone.
Yeah.
If you,
it's like a.
if you
SeaWorld,
pick a
though,
seat,
yeah.
do
SeaWorld,
not
yeah.
sit in the front middle.
Okay.
Because that's like
Unless you
like
want to
a
get
s-
squirted on.
Yeah, I'm okay.
You're kind
I
of
mean,
like
yeah, I
a
guess-
Splash Mountain,
Yeah, yeah.
but it's a different type of Splash Mountain.
That sounds incredible. I'm stoked.
I didn't take any videos last year, I think out of respect, but like I really wish I did, just because it sounds so obscene.
Right, like the actual noise you mean of...
I mean all of it.
Yeah.
Like the guest reaction, who gets wet, like it's like it's an experience that you could probably only really get in New York or like a few different cities in the world.
Yeah.
And you just walk away feeling like, whoa, like I didn't know I needed that.
Right? I'm cleansed, oddly enough. Like, I'm stoked.
It's one of those things where last year, like I had no idea what we were getting into, and I was like, yeah, Jess, like come to this. Like, it's like Mrs. D's, you're gonna love this.
Let's go, yeah.
And then I'm like, I don't know what we're getting into. Yeah. Oh, she's crawling.
Is she coming again this year?
Yeah.
Nice.
Sick. I mean, so are you guys going too?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Dude.
I won't be going.
Oh yeah, you're going to watch who?
You're going to the bar.
Yeah, I'll probably dip out and go.
I have a lot of shout out to the OSF and Alien Queen. I feel like they're doing a lot this week. Like,
dude, they're nuts, man.
There's
so
the
much
Wrecked
stuff.
show thing at the box, and then there's the day drinking tomorrow.
Yep.
And then I think there's Soho House the night after. So it's like 3 days in a row. I'm like, oh shit, get the hang
I still don't even know what the Soho House thing is. I've never been into a Soho House. I don't really understand what they are. But
is it a private club? It's like a social club.
Yeah, it's like a social club that also is like a hotel that also is like a place of people like I don't really ever want to associate with.
Yeah. yeah. That's what it seems like.
Is that the vibe?
Yeah.
I think our vibe is more VFW or like that's what. Yeah, I like kind of hanging out
Volunteer
at.
Or like,
like
the Waffle House
dinner.
or something.
Yeah, exactly. Endless fish. Yeah, it's
Beer Authority.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But no, I've been to a couple of Soho Houses. Is this the one? Is it down in Chelsea?
Yeah, it's the one in New York.
I think there's a couple in New York.
Oh, really?
Interesting.
There's one in Dumbo.
I think it's like bottom left.
Yeah, it's the one in Chelsea. I went there for a crypto dinner at some point. I mean, it's cool.
It's dimly lit. You can hit a vape in a corner. No
that's
one's gonna
nice.
bother you. It's
that's
basically
nice.
got the essentials.
Yeah, the
like,
essentials. That's all you
when
really
I'm checking
need,
off
dude.
boxes, it's like, can I smoke inside somehow?
Yeah,
and then
I'm bringing.
That's basically the only box I'm checking.
That's
so it's pretty good by me.
I'm bringing my Gatorade. And I'm gonna have them load me up a Patron Gatorade Arita. I'm just gonna be like, hey, here's this. Put that's in there.
Turn it into a Gatorade Arita for me. If you can.
It's a lot harder to find Gatorade Zero at the bodegas in this city than you would think. Like I'm used to rolling up the giant
CVS
Eagle,
or
getting like 8 packs of lemon lime Gatorade Zero, and I'm stocked for like 3 days.
Yeah.
Here, I find a Gatorade Zero. It's like a holy grail, and then it's only the cherry flavor. And you're like, fuck, like I can't get this. Like,
well, do you switch over to Body Armor then, or Prime Water?
Prime water. Yeah, water's. I'm like, I might just have to go to Old Faithful.
Have you guys had Prime Water yet?
Prime?
No,
yeah,
the
Logan Paul shit.
No,
yeah.
is it any good?
I haven't had it either. I'm a big. I like all the like stupid. Like I love the Body Armor shit. It's just so dumb.
Oh,
like
it's
they
good,
like
though.
it's good. It's very good. And like. Yeah,
You're supporting Kobe by drinking it.
I'm surprised that he has a mama flavored one of those.
Dude, I think he like owned. Like I felt like he was one of the like.
I think he had equity in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
He must have, because otherwise you're not. Yeah.
It's
just
like,
insane. Yeah.
But every time I drink Body Armor, I think of Kobe.
Same.
And
yeah.
The sugar-free blueberry pomegranate.
Oh, that's
is like the Body Armor for me.
Okay.
If I can only drink one flavor, sugar-free blueberry pomegranate.
Yeah. I'm in.
We've tried every Body Armor. So like there was a long period of time where I went through every diet drink. It was like I am determined to not drink water, but to also not drink a lot of calories.
Yeah.
Like diet Dr. Pepper, Sunkist. And then you start going to like Red Bull Zero, Monster Zero.
Oh, yeah.
Then you start going into the Gatorades and the Body Armors. And then you're just like, this all tastes like shit.
So I love Diet Dr. Pepper.
Yeah. Is that the one?
It is my favorite soda. Like not just like my favorite diet soda. It is just my.
Would you have like
soda.
a root beer float with a Diet Dr. Pepper over like root beer?
I actually don't like root beer.
Okay.
So yes, definitely.
That would be like a float for you.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about Diet Dr. Pepper, but
wow,
it's like
I mean, Dr. Pepper is always like the strongest dark pop for me. Like
it's an underrated pop for sure.
It's my favorite dark.
It's good. What about a Pib?
Do you guys both say pop?
Yeah, I say pop.
Yeah,
dude.
pop.
Crazy.
Yeah,
it's wild.
That's
Midwestern.
Ohio. That's a Midwest.
Yeah.
What do you call a hot dog?
Hot dog.
Okay.
Hot
glizzy.
Dog.
Yeah, this one I don't know.
You call it a glizzy?
No, I call it a hot dog.
Wait, I don't. I thought everyone called it hot dogs. Is
no,
that
some people call it glizzy.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
I don't care for them, but
My father-in-law calls them whistlers. He's Canadian,
Oh,
but
yeah.
I guess they're called whistlers up
Do
in
they
Canada
call them out,
sometimes.
blow on them out there? Or like, what?
I don't know if it's like the scream they make when you're boiling them potentially, or like something. But he worked as like a chef, and he calls them whistlers. I don't know.
Really?
What, kind of awesome. I
kinda
dig
like
it. Yeah,
that.
whistlers.
So
I can get behind that.
Yeah,
some mustard and ketchup on
Yeah.
a Whistler.
it's awesome. Yeah,
I feel like that would be a great name for like if you wanted to open up like a bougie hot dog shop in New York,
Yes.
call it Whistler.
Whistler.
Oh yeah.
Like, yeah, everyone,
Established
you
in
have $18
$18
Yeah,
cocktails.
exactly. Yeah, $18
People would love it.
dogs.
Is it legal to say that? Like, I feel like some of these places, I look at them,
yeah.
and they're like established in 1669. You're like, I don't think America was alive back then. Like, what is there like a thing where like people can just say
The building's actually a Mayan ruin.
Like, if
It's like-
my great grandpa was in America, so this was established in like 1865, but I didn't
Right.
actually make it until 2022. But it was like established back then.
Yeah, you're like, I'm not sure, but Johnny Garlic's does not seem like it's been here for,
No,
for
it doesn't seem
150
super
years.
windy, like-
Right? Like, I don't know. Yeah,
Like there's different places like that, and it just says like
there are. Yeah, they got to make a rule about it. I mean, it's
I don't know. I don't
insane.
know if that's like a Midwest thing. I guess I see it in New York too, but I don't
Yeah.
think about it. As
There,
much.
there's some of it in New York, but for the most part, I feel like in New York that there actually are places that are kind of old too.
For sure. Yeah,
is fun.
absolutely.
But no, there's definitely some that are like established at some period of time. Like there's no fucking.
But like if it's set established 2023, like you're more
not-
likely to not eat there.
Agreed. Yeah.
Like you're like, oh my god, like
yeah.
they don't have any experience. Like they're
Yeah.
fucked.
For sure.
So
they
like
need to
it's
start
like,
putting the established things on like B-dubs and stuff for when the franchise was established.
yeah, the
Like,
Chili's.
yeah, the Chili's.
Chili
and
is
stuff.
just
This is an
taking
OG
this down.
Chili's.
This is an OG Chili's. Let's go.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like all our hometown is. It's
It
like
is.
Bob Evans, Perkins, Denny's, IHOP, Chili's. Like I can't name a local place. It was all just like the shitty chains, and then after Sunday service, everybody over the age of 60 was just like
Bob
out.
Evans. Oh yeah.
Dude, those fucking eating park cookies
Oh,
with the
yeah.
smiley faces.
Yeah.
They're at fucking Boston Market.
Oh,
Boston
Boston Market was
My
clutch,
grandparents.
dude.
So my grandparents, they're old as fuck. They're in their 90s. They love Boston Market.
That's the shit.
The roto chicken there, the mag.
But they're so funny. Like they like Boston Market more than a home cooked meal.
Oh, that's
American.
questionable.
To
Yeah, that's
where they'll be like
True
they'll
fucking
be like, no,
patriots.
like my mom will offer to like cook, and they'll be like, no, you don't have to cook. We'll just get Boston Market.
dude. Well, it's like that's the other thing about living in Indiana that's like psychotic. That like every food is just it's just like a brown mass where it's like, what is fried? Like everything is fried.
Yeah.
Everything is cased. Everything is just and like it's impossible to like eat anything that's not just like you'll see the ads on TV and it's just like, check it out down here at this new sports bar, and it's just this plate of brown like mush. Where it's like, what are you frying in there, dude? Like, what
It's a
are those
mixture
things?
Of, like French fries, pickles,
Yeah.
Oreos, chicken tenders, like grandma's finger. It's
Yeah.
just all in there for you to dip in the cheese
Yeah,
sauce.
the aioli.
Yeah,
I-
I mean, even here we went to fucking Chelsea Piers and we're doing the bowling thing, and we got like a sampler platter.
Yep.
This is brown fried shit. It's like literally cheese sticks, poppers. It's like 7 different things that are fried.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh fuck!
it's,
I'd one,
it's still here.
dude. I've been right. It's everywhere. I guess I've been into one thing at this bar that I assumed was a halp popper, and just a bunch of spaghetti poured out of it. I was just like, oh, what? And then like I bit into the rest of them. That was the only one. And I was like, I like talked to the waitress. And I'm like, hey, this is not a big deal, but like this was weird. Like a bunch of spaghetti fell out of this thing. And she's just like, "Oh yeah, it happens." I'm like, "Well, if it happens, that's okay, I guess." Like, I don't know.
They're like, that's normal. Normally, we empty out the Chef Boyardee ravioli into the deep fryer. But fucking Johnny in the back's on a bender.
Yeah.
That was SpaghettiOs.
Yeah,
Like,
it was
common mistake.
Yeah, it's a
man.
common mistake. Yeah,
When you were a kid, were you into like the Chef Boyardee beef or
Oh,
the
yeah.
Chef Boyardee cheese ravioli?
I was for sure beef. Well,
Yeah,
that's
it was
what,
beef,
and that's the thing. It's like growing up. I think, dude, beef was such a massive part of our lives. I don't know about you guys, but it was just like, hey, it's 4 days a week, dude.
Yeah.
like it's,
Hamburger helper.
Hamburger-
Chef Boyardee, Salisbury steaks.
Yep.
Oh, dude, I love
you-
Salisbury
you'd
steak.
have-
Fucking
Salisbury steaks.
You
were fucking
rename
good.
a burger to something else, and I'm in.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
yeah.
I'm sold.
You had the did you guys do the green bean beef casserole at all?
With
cream of mushroom soup. Yeah, that's
I love
French's French onion.
Yeah, sprinkled on
that shit's
top.
amazing. My mom still makes that for like
Same
Easter
with me.
and
It's
stuff.
awesome.
Yeah, it's great.
Dude, yeah.
I remember one time as a kid, I didn't know what green bean casserole was, and it's my favorite thing at Thanksgiving.
Oh,
so I
yeah.
told my grandma, like, I like green beans with ranch and bacon. Because I thought that's what my mom
was in it. Yeah.
So my grandma is like very, this grandma is very like, was healthy, organic, like cleaner eater. She like never made green bean casserole. So she made me casserole with ranch and bacon.
Oh, that sounds awesome,
and like
dude.
Fresh green beans. So like, you know the ones that have
bet
like
it's
the
pretty good.
snap to them?
Right.
And I was like, this sucks. Like, I was like, I told my grandma, I was like, I vividly remember, I feel like I might have ruined the day.
Oh.
Like, she spent all this time making, like, just, like, ranch and bacon.
Yeah, and she's probably like, what the fuck is wrong with
And then
these?
I was like, no, Grandma. Like,
Where's the can?
I like, the green beans are too hard.
Yeah.
Like, I like the ones that melt in your mouth. And, like, and the bacon isn't crispy enough.
Yeah.
And then my grandma was like, I think you mean, like, green bean casserole.
You're like,
I don't
oh,
think you
yeah.
had
Yeah,
ranch and
that's-
bacon. But she made it all for me. She trusted me.
Yeah.
Never had that since. But it was like such a letdown. Like, you know, when grandma makes you something,
Yeah,
you're
you're
like
like, oh,
so
boy.
stoked.
Yeah.
And you're like so excited and you eat it. And you're like,
Yeah.
it's
just,
like I had never had a fresh green bean. Like, I only had canned green beans.
those,
until-
they do hit a little different though.
Dude,
They're
they smell in your mouth. Like,
Yeah, they do.
I grew up thinking the canned vegetables were like pea. Like canned corn. I like the whole. I'll drain it out,
Yeah.
put like half a tablespoon of butter, pepper, eat the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
Fucking canned green beans.
Yeah.
Canned peaches?
peas.
Canned peaches, yeah. I mean, the president's United States made
Yeah.
that song about it, of course.
Peaches?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, like the like half peach that's like a giant fucking chunk that you don't cut up. And
Yeah,
you
you
take
fork
out.
it out. And just
Or the medley with the little maraschino cherry on top of it. That thing was fucking great, dude. You have to save that cherry for the last bite.
like we could just live off the cans.
I know.
That was a thing.
I would thrive in an apocalypse. I think
I think so, too.
as long as I could get access to some cans. Like
I'm
I would.
nostalgic about it.
Yeah.
I am a
Like,
little
when's the last time you
nostalgic.
were to Chef Boyardee?
It's been a long time, dude. Yeah, it's been a super long time.
I wonder how well those things are. Do you think those are still going off the shelves like they used to?
Probably, man. I mean,
Nah. Do you
I
think
don't-
we've gotten smarter or like the population's gotten smarter?
that's a good question. Yeah, I
Are
don't
we
know.
sure we've gotten smarter?
Yeah, I'm not
I
positive
mean,
about
I'm
that either.
choosing one vice over another. I don't know if
Yeah.
I'm smarter.
Those things are like your weak sodium in one foul
Yeah.
swoop.
I mean, there were weeks where like my mom would go to work. She's a hairdresser. I'm watching my siblings. I would eat like 2 cans a day
right,
for
oh,
like
chef.
a week. And
there-
you don't realize it. Like, this is like a meal. Like,
Yeah.
Throw it in the fucking plastic bowl. Throw it in the microwave for a minute
yeah.
30. You got the fucking paper towel on it that gets soggy and crusty when
so
you
good.
you fucking hear the
Yep.
geyser of hot sauce
The geyser of
smashing.
Exploding
sauce.
all over your microwave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that was just like a rite of passage.
It was.
And now I like can't remember.
Those are the good old days.
Casserole season.
Like, I'm not
Very
gonna
good.
feed my kids that.
No, I don't think so.
I'm not gonna like.
So you don't think you'll go casserole? Casseroles are still pretty money. Like,
Yeah.
But
would you
not
make them a
like-
green bean casserole? You think with like,
for like Thanksgiving,
yeah,
but
okay,
not like
like a
every
Monday night,
Tuesday.
Monday.
Were you a
February.
big sandwich person as well? Like for me, it was just like a lot of bologna sandwiches,
Yes.
a lot of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
I at one point went through a phase where I made my mom put peanut butter on the bologna sandwich.
Ooh, okay.
Oh man,
Like, I was just like, Mom, we need
That,
protein.
honestly, that
Holy
sounds
sh-
pretty good. Have you ever had a peanut butter and bacon sandwich?
yeah, that's
Like, that's
solid.
very
Oh,
good,
that
yeah.
sounds good.
Yeah, like I could see if you like fried the bologna and put that on there. With
Oh,
some
it
peanut
definitely
butter, that'd be
wasn't
good.
fried.
Yeah,
It was like
no.
that Oscar Mayer.
Yeah.
thin
Oh,
honestly, that stuff's
slice
great.
With the,
That's good.
With the red case that you peel
Yeah.
off before you slap that thing on. I was big on salami though. The,
Well,
the
yeah.
salami with mustard.
Oh yeah, that was a great sandwich.
that, I
Provolone.
could have lived off that. Like,
Well, the one bologna is like the original Fidenza. That what's that one stuff called pimento loaf? Like
Yeah.
it
That
has
has
all
the
the it
chunks
has all
in
the
it?
little
Oh, that-
chunks in it.
that's
It's
scary.
more or less generative art, like for the most part. I mean, like it is beautiful.
that was scary to me.
It
Like,
was
you
weird.
wanted it to be as homogenous as possible.
Yeah,
The salami was chunky enough. You're like, oh, there's like some
weird
marbling.
way. Yeah,
But like the bologna was just like completely homogenous. Like,
Yeah.
you're like, how'd they make this?
It was a hot dog, but it's flat.
it is a hot dog but flat.
Yeah.
We
There-
used to throw bologna at a chicken coop. My dad had chickens, and you'd throw bologna in the chicken coop,
They-
and they would fucking kill each other.
So chickens are carnivores? I didn't even
for bologna.
Okay, for bologna.
Are we sure that makes them a carnivore? I'm not sure bologna counts.
Right.
I don't know. Like we would use the chickens as like a composting dump off where like the head of lettuce you didn't eat, whatever garbage was left over, they'd smash that shit. But then my dad would keep like an Oscar Mayer pack of bologna up there, and you would just take a fucking full disc, break it into like 3 slices, like throw it left, right, and center, and then you just watch like a dozen chickens.
So like when you guys are bored and wanted to like do cockfights in your backyard, you just get some bologna. And...
It pretty much sounds
I
like
mean,
a little...
basically,
I love that.
Put some bells on their neck, and whoever's making the most noise is the winner.
Fuck yeah.
Did you ever have like animals growing up, like agricultural stuff?
Not really. No, it was pretty. Yeah, it was pretty chill. It did remind me though of this one. There was this old lady named Barb that would walk around our neighborhood, like giving away casseroles. Like she would just have a casserole dish and just be like, "I've made you this casserole," and you'd be like, "Okay, thank you." And like one day we would usually toss them, but like one day I like delved in. I'm like, this one looks pretty good. Bite into it and there's just a Skittle in there. I'm just like, oh, what? It was just like a chicken casserole, but like there was like a Skittle that would just like
it
mess
was like that loaf of meat, but instead of like it being a jalapeno or something green, it was
a couple Skittles.
Skittle,
yeah, for
like,
sure.
What the fuck?
Yeah, never looked at her the same. I was just like, Barb, I feel bad. She was missing it. Yeah,
but she had leftover Halloween candy.
Yeah, and just said, she's using everything up. Yeah, for sure.
Sometimes I wish I grew up in the Midwest. Sounds like a good time.
It was cool.
Do you remember like trick or treating?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Did your family? Were you in an area that was populated enough where you could walk outside, or did your family drive you to another area that was more densely populated?
We would walk. What about you? Would you drive?
No, but I knew friends who would drive in from parts of town to like where we were.
Yeah.
Because it was like a better neighborhood. Or like,
get the king size.
Candy. Yeah. And it was like every house had the light on, so you would just go and you knew. Whereas like some neighborhoods just wasn't the vibe. Like, you might get shot.
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
You guys ever watch the movie Gummo?
Dude, I could only make it through half of it. It was, and that's like coming from somebody who's like, makes a lot of fucked up stuff. I found it. It's by Harmony Korine, right?
Yeah.
But like, it's very viscerally sickening to look at.
It's a very
like,
depressing movie as well.
Yeah,
but it's about this like really small town in Ohio, I think. That was like fucked up from a tornado or something. And it's just like, it's one of those movies where there's really no plot, and it's just the entire time is unbelievably uncomfortable. There's this one particular scene of this kid eating spaghetti in a bathtub.
Dude, that's where I cut out at.
Yeah.
That's the exact moment where I cut out at. I'm like,
one of the most uncomfortable things I've ever experienced in my life.
He's got a huge glass of milk. He's eating spaghetti. I'm just like, I'm like, I'm going to be sick, dude. Like, I can't even fucking watch this.
So, budget of $1.3 million. It did 117 grand at the box office.
Wow! Holy shit!
Down 90%.
That's incredible.
Setting is in Xenia, Ohio. Why to watch? Strange, intense, and nihilistic.
It is. They need to release the Zack Snyder cut of that thing and get this thing going.
I just get a strong heroin vibe from the cover art.
You can smell. You can smell the movie. That's the kid.
The bath,
Oh man,
I think it's a really good movie. I really like it.
Yeah,
but yeah. It's like when you talk about like weird Midwest things of like a woman walking around a casserole. Like that's just a movie that
it kind of is. Yeah, there was all sorts of peculiar things happening like that, and it is a very Midwestern movie for sure. Yeah, but in many ways it's funny because like I wouldn't trade.
Wait. The Diary of Anne Frank Part 2 is a 40-minute 3-screen collage featuring the same actors and themes as Gummo, and can be considered as a companion piece.
What? How?
I'm on the Wikipedia page.
Oh my god!
And like, Harmony Korine's a fucked up dude.
They actually released the second part of Anne Frank's diary.
Wait, did Harmony Korine direct that too?
I need to do some research.
That sounds
here.
insane.
Corinne comments, I could probably make another 2 movies with the excess footage from Gummo.
No.
Some of this material I'm going to use in this artwork. The problem you run into doing multimedia projection is that a lot of the time the style takes over.
Oh my god.
So yeah, I mean, apparently they shot so much for Gummo that they made the Diary of Anne Frank Part 2.
What a weird world. I did not think I was going to walk into that today, that bombshell.
So that's what we're going to have on the top of people's minds. Harmony Korine with bangers such as Spring Breakers.
That movie's great, dude.
And Mr. Lonely.
I love that movie. Yeah.
Also is responsible for Gummo.
Mr. Lonely is an Akon song, isn't it?
It might be.
I thought it was. I thought that was his big song. Yeah, that's no. Yeah.
I know exactly what song you're talking about.
I miss Akon.
I mean,
being
he's
like,
out there
he was
making
cool.
He's doing some crypto shit now, right? He's
Oh,
got
he is?
Acorn, yeah.
He's got a whole legal suit.
He's got an
against him.
Acorn. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's literally.
That's
He was
Acorn.
saving Africa with a coin.
What?
Yeah, it's for Africa.
Oh my god, I had no idea,
He had
dude.
a whole
Wow.
grift, and now
So-
he's like in legal trouble because like
Oh.
you can't save Africa with a grifty token.
No. Yeah, that's
like,
not
like
gonna
you gotta have
happen.
a stronger plan than like we're gonna build a Cryptopia in the middle
Dude,
of fucking
I-
Senegal.
Yeah, basically, like he saw the whole like Black Panther thing, and he was like, "I think with Acorn we could do this."
What? Holy shit, dude! I'm dying. Because I hadn't heard his name since like 2010 or something.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I'm
I mean,
like,
you were
I'm
probably at like a local skating rink, and they were playing like a
Yeah,
2000s
right.
melody, and right
Smack
after
that
that Nelly
all
Tim
on the
McGraw
floor.
joint came on, Akon came on after.
Oh,
and we
yeah,
just took
for
a
sure.
ride down memory lane.
was the Nelly Tim McGraw one? It's all in my head, where he was like all sad, where he's like, "I'm going over and over again."
Yes, it's over and over.
Yeah. That song was great, dude.
I mean, that was
I
just,
miss
like,
those fucking.
Do you ever think like I don't think we'll ever go back to a day where we have like the monoculture that we grew up with.
No.
Like we've fractionalized and decentralized all of our media sources so
Yep.
that now everything is like hyper fed to you by an algorithm and you don't get blasted by like the same 3 or 4 news channels and like fucking TBS reruns of your favorite 90s sitcoms. It's like we
Yeah.
don't have any of that anymore. And like
No.
it's like somehow harder to connect with people.
It kind of is,
Because
yeah.
you're like, oh, dude, you don't follow used car dealership guy. Like, you're
Right.
not looking at strip mall Trent's fucking
Right.
threads on depreciating assets for capex. Like, what are you doing, dude?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it's like you don't listen to a post 70s style Japanese punk band that like has like
bro, they're
200.
massive. They're blowing up. They just played at a 36-person bar
Right.
in my hometown.
Yeah.
You're not a fan of that?
Yeah. Oh, it's so funny.
That's like, I think one of the things I like about your work is like you pull on all those older, not older, but like the monocultural
For sure.
things that like we grew up with.
Yeah.
Like, whether it's fucking Pawn Stars, Diner Drive-In,
Yeah.
Dive,
Puddle of Mud,
the fucking Jinko symbol,
Yeah.
or
soaps.
the Juggalo.
Yeah,
dude,
Juggalo
the fucking
culture.
Cleaver. Like, it's all stuff that we grew up being forced to see,
Yep.
even though we didn't want to see it.
And kind of forced to endure, and forced to, in some ways, like, I mean, I don't know about you, but in some ways it was like, I would look at that stuff and not really think it was that cool, but I would just go along with it because I'm like,
Oh, that's
look, it's just, I'll just fit in, it's cool, like, I don't really, like, I just didn't really care to stand out at that point. I still don't really give a fuck, but,
No.
yeah, you're just like, I'll get a pair of aggressive walking shoes with a soap with a grind bar at the bottom and walk around and grind some stuff or whatever. So
I
yeah,
mean, we would sit there and like we'd spend all day watching Food Network. It'd be like a 7-hour day.
Oh, yeah.
And we just watched like 8 episodes of Diner Drive-Ins and Dives.
Yeah.
We just got tours of like Philadelphia, Kansas City, Seattle. And then the next thing you know, you're watching like America's Got Talent and the fucking puppet guy's on there doing his fucking thing. And then you go to bed and you go to school and like other people did the same thing and you can talk
Exactly.
about it. Now it's like,
yeah,
I feel it's like harder to sometimes connect with people.
Yeah.
In this space, it's different because we're all fucking hyper glued to at least some common strand. But
Yeah.
like just stopping at the bar and trying to like have a conversation is like, oh, the weather's nice. And, like, that's
Yeah.
it.
And then it's like, well, did you see my very obscure basketball rankings that I was looking at the other day? Oh, no? Okay, that's all I can
Like
talk
I
about
just did
now.
my first Substack article. You
Right,
happen to
exactly.
subscribe to me? Like,
Yeah.
do you want me to give you the TLDR? It's a 39-minute read.
scan the QR code. We can listen to my pod
Yeah,
together,
tap my
dude.
shirt,
Yeah,
dude.
let's go. Tap my shirt. Let's do it. We'll sit here and listen together. Yeah, let's go.
We can listen to this one on 0.75x speed or
Right.
set the moon.
Dude, yeah, that's another crazy part is the like that sped up version that everyone is now obsessed with.
Yeah.
Where, like I know a chick who started like a TikTok channel or whatever it is, like for food recommendations, and she'll be like, next thing in Chicago is looking pretty good. There's chicken tenders here, and you can go here. And I'm just like, and I listen to it again, and she speeds everything up originally, so no one else even has to speed it up. It's like it's just being crammed into your pie hole. You can't do anything about it. You're just getting it one way or another.
Do you find yourself on TikTok frequently?
So I don't have a TikTok. Okay. I don't know how to use it, but she posts them on Instagram too. So I still have an Insta. But yeah, I find the whole thing just so peculiar and kind of like invasive in some ways or something where like, I don't know. I feel like we should be able to, we're already consuming all the time. So like, I feel like consuming at your own leisure should be a potential option versus having something like shoved down your fucking intestines and like, you're not even able to like, see it coming or
push alert.
Yeah, push alert. Yeah.
It's like when you're on the For You feed and you're taking a stroll and Elon just drops a video of a double murder.
Right.
And you're like, oh, I didn't know I needed to see that.
Sweet. Like, yeah, mine was people getting jacked in the face for a long time. It was just
there's like a fight. There's like a fight video Twitter account that gets on the For You that you don't follow. Right. That, like the tweets have 10,000 likes and like over a million views, and it's like a couple is outside calling their neighbor a fucking moron. And the dude goes and gets a gun, shoots both of them. It's all from like a Ring doorbell cam.
Yeah.
And like they're dead on the ground. He's still shooting them, calling her a fucking bitch. And it's like, oh, this is just on Twitter, like right next to like an art retweet. And you're like,
the World Star was really ahead of its time, honestly.
It was, yeah.
Like, you couldn't post something like that on Reddit. Like, it would have got flagged. Like, you'd be on, like, Morbid Reality or something. Like, that used to be my shit. Like, I'd go on Morbid Reality as, like, a late teenager, early 20s, and I'd be reading about, like, some dude in Chicago who made a hotel that has, like, trap rooms to torture people.
Oh, God.
Oh. And you're just like, what? Wow, humans are fucked up.
Yeah.
Now it's like on the Twitter timeline. Like before, I had to go.
Yeah, to go find it.
I had to go find it. Now it's just like For You. Oh shit!
That's the terrifying part. Is like if I were to ever show my For You, which again I don't dictate what's in it, but if I were to like show my wife, hey, check out my For You feed. She's like, looks like you enjoy watching people get blasted in the back of the head with a huge haymaker. And I'm just like, I don't really enjoy that. I'm like actually pretty shocked by it.
Away. Like when
no, I'm gonna watch it.
I'm gonna watch it. Yeah,
you're like, I gotta watch this.
It auto plays, right?
Like 90 seconds in, so it pulls out a gun. You're like, whoa!
Okay, what the fuck? Yeah, what's going on?
But that's like where the world's going. It's just like you're being fed by the algorithm. Elon's tweaking the algorithm in real time
for sure.
And you're just getting the experiment.
Yeah, which I feel like Insta. I feel like the For You is better. Like I just love. Like I love sneakers.
Twitter's For You is the worst.
It is
For You algorithm. It's just basically throwing polarizing dog shit at you, no matter what.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, you're like a 7-year-old lady who like really likes church and sewing. Like, how about this double homicide?
Right. Like, we have a dude burning a hornet's nest with a blowtorch, and then and then fucking it afterwards.
And then like he accidentally burnt his dick.
Right.
Right. And you're like, oh,
sweet.
Like that's
great.
what I needed. That was for me.
Did you say you're a big sneaker guy?
Yeah, I do love sneakers. Yeah.
What's your favorite pair that you have?
So I have the Sakai Blazer collab. Those are pretty sick. So it's cool.
The highs?
The lows, yeah. So my I've got someone in our family kind of works for Nike, and so I get like a huge discount on stuff, which is awesome. Otherwise, like I don't feel like I'd be buying shit, but yeah.
You enter that fucking sneakers raffle and you just
just go for sure.
Yeah, I used to be back before I was like really into crypto. I was like flipping like sneakers and Supreme drops and all of that.
Oh, you were
to make money.
Nice, dude.
I like wrote my own bot to do it and stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Sick, dude.
Back in like 2015, 2016.
Did you ever get stuck with a bunch of pairs that you just didn't flip? Because like,
no, never really. I was never that intense about it.
Yeah.
Like for the most part, my whole thing was like I was never going to sell the bot. I was only going to use it personally, like I would sell stuff. And so like I was only ever buying one or two of anything.
I got you.
And so it was like, I was pretty broke at the time. So
if
I can hit on a box logo Supreme hoodie and make $500 or a pair of Travis Scotts and make $1,000, like that was huge.
It's a lot.
Dude, I don't know how anyone is wearing the Travis Scotts, to be honest. One, because I don't know. I just tend to avoid the shoes that are just just squarely hype beast.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm good. Like, I also don't want to really get my ass kicked and have these like stolen from me. But like,
that was my favorite shoe, the Travis Scott.
They're cool. They look
Yeah,
sick,
nice.
dude.
The colors are really nice.
The colors are sick. Yeah.
I'm working my government job. I'm like, this is like 3% of my 4% of my like yearly take home on a pair of shoes.
Right.
So I'm a fucking Reddit, and I like bought fake Air Jordan, like the Travis Scott Air Jordans. And they were still like $120 fake.
Were they good though?
They were. I couldn't just. I still own them. Can't distinguish them from the real pair.
And how bad would it suck if you got your ass kicked for those fake?
I stopped wearing them because I would walk through like I remember this time in Vegas. I was going through a mall in Vegas, and like the shoe shiner guy was like harassing me.
He's like,
he's like, bro, let me fucking clean those up for you, bro. And I'm like, not gonna tell them they're fake, but I'm also like, this is awkward.
Yeah.
And then you get to the point where you're like, I'm just gonna like keep these in my collection, but like
they're
not
fine.
wear them.
Yeah.
So then you wear them to like concerts. Like that's my thing. Like when I'm gonna go to like a fucking post-hardcore concert.
Yeah.
I went to like a Dance Gavin Dance Polyphia concert. I wore them because it was like no one's gonna see them. I can ruin them, but they're still like kind of comfy.
Yeah.
But like I can't tell the difference between those and new ones. Like if you gave me both, and I looked at them. And like there was a phase in my life where I was just like, rep sneakers are the way because
for sure
they're $50, $100.
They're made the same way, more or less, probably.
They're all from the same factories.
Yeah,
and
it's
like,
just like excess material and shit.
And like I tell everybody, I'm like, if you want sneakers that are cool, but you don't want to fucking like pay them, like just buy the fake ones.
Yeah, you're good.
No one tells. Like you don't feel bad wearing them.
No,
that's
just destroy them.
I beat the shit out of them.
Pay $1,000 for a pair.
I do that for my shoes no matter what.
I destroy everything.
I'm really happy that I feel like the new wave of sneakers is all like dad running shoes and like
dude, they're the best,
shit.
man.
Yeah.
Why isn't everything wide fit? Just make every shoe wide fit, dude. Skechers was onto it. Like, one, no laces. You should just be able to glide your shoe in like an old man easing his way into a bathtub. 2, like it should just be as wide as humanly possible.
How many pairs of Heelys do you have?
I own one pair of Heelys. I got them for my birthday. I was going nuts on them for a while, dude. I got pretty good. They're hard. They're like difficult to like.
They're not just
work.
like an inline skate.
No,
it's a whole different vibe.
Yeah, because you have to balance leaning back. Like you gotta be able to trust that the heel is gonna catch you. It's like a trust exercise because like you can be like running down a hill or try to go back to them, and you gotta be ready to just go like this and lean back. Fat Joe style, and then just cruise on them. So if you don't have that, you look like a fucking idiot.
You're making like those highlight vids. Like I could see you doing like a Heelys highlight vid doing a parkour.
One of my favorite videos I feel like was the dude who like he takes one dribble on his basketball and then he just cruises like 20 feet and lays it in. He's like, it's not a travel because he's just like at the Heelys.
I didn't move my feet.
I didn't move my feet. It's fucking awesome.
There was a period of time like you see kids in the airports just like running with them. I feel like I don't see that anymore.
No.
Like
I saw a kid at the airport the other day who had like her luggage, her carry-on luggage was also scooter.
Oh,
or maybe not. Looked like a Razor scooter almost, but it was like it would fold up against the luggage box, and so she had it folded down, and like her luggage was in front of her, and she was that sounds
perfect, dude. Yeah. I might get one of
those.
It's like a new Rimowa attachment.
Yeah.
With the Rimowa Razor collab, and it just like has a fucking foldable thing, and you're like, oh shit.
Turns into one of those like.
I would 100% pay for a Rimowa.
Razor collab.
It's like one of those gym scooters that you used to like crawl, those plastic gym scooters. You'd have like the hockey stick and just be chopping people's fingers. I think
of like the people who have like a broken leg and they're on like the one.
Oh, those things are great. Yeah.
You just have the fucking bag.
Oh yeah.
Are we coming up? I see the.
Yeah, we could probably.
We have a question we ask everybody.
Okay,
it's a really important question. It's if you were gonna title your autobiography today, what would you title it?
Man, I'm trying to think. Maybe Spare.
Bear?
No, I'm kidding. That's like the title of like the Prince for the fucking Prince. I forget whatever. Yeah, whatever Prince Harry or whoever the fuck. Yeah. He just launched a book called Spare. So I feel like it would be hilarious if I just go also Spare, and then it's just me on the cover, and people are like, "Wait, you're not in the royal? Not in the royal family? Not anything?
Like a Big Lebowski?
No, not like... Yeah." I think the funny part is dude, I would honestly probably title it one of the titles of one of my other books. So like I think Sparsely Attended Funeral is something that I'm obsessed with. Like just the fact that your entire existence is distilled into like a couple people nibbling at a fruit platter and like just kind of like begrudgingly celebrating, you know, your inconsequential life.
They like don't really want to be there.
Don't really want to be there. It's just kind of a waste of time, and you know, it is what it is. So
but
I think
what else do I do this Saturday?
Exactly.
Pay drink. Like I may as well go pay my respects.
Yeah, so just hang out, throw a couple buzz balls in his
it's
coffin
next to
with
McDonald's anyway. And then just grab a fucking shamrock shake after.
I think Travis Scott has a new Happy Meal. We can get that after the ceremony. So yeah, but
I think it's worth it.
I think that's what I would do. I think it would be sparsely attended funeral.
I could see the mid-journey output for this. It's just like it's like two people at the funeral. Like one of them is the employee who has to be there.
Yeah.
And there's like the kid, and like there's just nobody. Like maybe there's someone in a wheelchair who's like on life support, but they're really also like ready for their own funeral.
Yep. Okay, like all the fruit's just only cantaloupe. Like there's nothing else there. It's
like,
just a big old cantaloupe bomb.
It's like the circular things a honeydew, which is a fiction that no one's choosing.
Yep.
There's one maraschino cherry on top of the whole thing.
I think that's it. And then like the picture of me, I kind of envision me wearing a pair of the Oakley MP3 sunglasses, like plugged in. I've got the Bluetooth ones around my neck that were popular for a while. Maybe a couple fully nude pictures as well, but
in the slideshow.
Yeah, a slideshow. Not like I've thought about it a lot, but that's like something that for sure.
Probably at least a glory hole shot.
Yeah, for sure. Casket has a glory hole in it in case anybody just
casket it's a closed casket. Where your private is, there's a hole.
Yeah. Just look, I don't know what's gonna happen in the afterlife, but I need this fucking hole here.
It's just one last way to pay our respects.
Yeah, for sure.
Instead of praying at the altar, you fuck the glory hole.
Throw some lube in there. Hell yeah.
That's gonna be some strong album art.
Yeah.
I got what I do for all the episodes right now is I try to make a piece of art that reflects your autobiography title, and then that is kind of like the art for the thumbnail of the episode.
That's gonna crush.
So I'm excited. This is my first funeral piece.
Oh, sweet, dude! I'm super stoked.
I'm looking forward to it.
Spare. Sweet.
No, but thank you, dude.
Yeah, thank you guys, man. This was fun as hell. Yeah.
Do you have anything you want to shout out before we?
No, I don't think so, man. Well, I don't even know if I'm allowed to talk about it.
This probably won't be out for a couple months.
Yeah,
okay,
so
cool.
We're releasing the season we did in January right now. It wraps at the middle of May, and then this season won't start until like June.
Okay, cool.
So this episode, the earliest it might come out is like the second week of June.
Okay, cool. So I've got, if the pieces are still there or something, I'm gonna have a sick 420 thing going on with Super Rare, which is awesome. So this is gonna be on there. Like,
Love Thy Dealer.
Yeah. So
wait, you have a whole merch?
Yeah. Oh. So there's gonna be like a merch drop and
nice.
With like skateboard. Thanks, dude. Yeah, skateboard, like a grinder with a fur beef on it and some other shit. And then I've got two pretty fucking brutal pieces. One of them's called A Great Day. It's like it's a Cracker Barrel euthanasia piece. Like essentially like where Cracker Barrel starts like they start offering to execute, loved ones who want it or whatever. So like that's one of the pieces. Then there's this other one where people are like huffing these factory human beings, essentially like kind of just a meditation on just being product in a factory and stuff. So they're pretty sick. They're like definitely not. It's just funny that they're launching on 420 because like I certainly made them when I was stoned, but they're certainly not like a dude doing
I love weed.
It's like there's a man being beheaded at Cracker Barrel to his own delight. So I'm stoked about that. So
I feel like you're more like able to understand that while you're stoned on 420.
For sure. I agree.
Like,
yeah.
Like, I could see me at Cracker Barrel.
Yeah.
I'm like
getting like just being like, this is my last thing of flapjacks. I'm ready to die.
You get the trifecta.
Yeah.
But
before I go, I do need Cracker Barrel.
Just hearing that shotgun by the employee put to the back of your head.
It's like,
all right.
Sometimes you get a mariachi band singing Happy Birthday. Yeah. Sometimes you have fucking Judge Dredd come out and blast someone in the head.
Exactly. Yeah, I want to go mid-bite of a fried chicken at Cracker Barrel.
And just get
like 3
destroyed.
bites in. Like you want the initial nice crunch.
The white gravy.
The second one. And then you want to realize what sauce it was. And then as soon as that sauce permeates the taste buds.
Just get destroyed.
It's over.
Yeah.
Put the plastic wrap on the table.
Yeah, closed casket.
Take another piss.
Let's cut it.
Cut it. Sweet. I got a piss.